Good morning. Good morning. I'm just going to let the YouTube notify everybody. So, and I'll share it out on my platform. Give me a second. Okay, I see some people coming in now. It's sometime not sending out the message. Good morning, everybody. I'm here. Just give me a moment to share it out. And make sure that it's out there. Because sometimes this platform doesn't tell people, they get it way after. So let me just share it on my own platform. Okay, so how's everyone doing today? See people checking in, but I don't see people typing in the chat. So I'm back. I'm available today, Saturday, but I have to go out later to do a lot of errands. So, and last night I was up late doing doing some stuff. So I did that so that I could have the morning free and not have to go live from the car because that's not always a good reception. So how's everyone doing today? Waiting for everyone, my usuals to tap in and have a conversation this morning. I'm a bit stuffy, but I'm not sick, but I'm just a bit I find the weather change is a bit much now. It's getting a little more severe and the nights are very cold, so in the morning I'm kind of congested. Okay, and I'm going to drop the link before I forget so that those who come in can copy. Hold on. Okay, so I put the link on. So yesterday, something strange happened to me. I'm driving home after I went back to go pick up my car. Very tired. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go home and just get ready and pretty much get to bed right away. And I had to go lock up the chickens. Fine. So I locked them up. But on the way after picking up my car to drive home, I ran over a skunk. I saw it at the last minute. So I didn't like run into it or on it, but I drove over it. So hopefully it stayed between the tires. A bus was coming on the other side. So I couldn't avoid it by the time I saw it. And now I'm just smelling my car. I'm like, now I keep smelling skunk. I'm not sure if it's in my head or if it's gonna be a problem. So I parked the car. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of smelling that skunk smell. Hey, Triple, I'm smelling that skunk smell, and I'm like, shoot. So later on, I'm gonna check the car to make sure. I'm like, really? So the skunk, I ran over the skunk, and then a couple of days before that, um, I came home bringing my bags to the door. I turn around, I see a skunk, like that waddling kind of, they waddle, they don't really walk. Um, on the lawn behind the tenant's car. I'm like, so I blew my whistle, your like the whistle that ladies have on their key for help. Two things happened. The skunk didn't move. He was looking at me like, whatever. And then nobody came to check if I need help. I'm blowing this whistle at, maybe 9 o'clock at night. It was dark. It gets dark earlier now here. Nobody came to my rescue. So I'm thinking, this whistle is absolutely useless. If you are in a jam, I don't think that whistle's going to help anybody because I blew the whistle in front of my house and not one person came to say, are you okay? Do you need any assistance? I don't even think anybody heard the whistle, to be honest. Hey, good morning, D Mood. I don't think they heard the whistle. So I'm just thinking, yeah, note to self, that whistle ain't gonna help you. I know I have morning Queen Shar. I have one of those things that you pull the string and it makes this loud noise. in my purse. I wonder if I still have it in my purse because now I don't remember if it's still there. But I have one of those and it screams. That I think is better because if you're relying on yourself to be blowing this whistle, yeah. So, anyways, and the skunk dig up my lawn. So my lawn is worse than it was before. I don't even have a lawn. So I'm gonna try to put some more seed down, but they seem to think that my lawn has all the grubs. And my lawn is the one that gets dug up out of the 5 people that next to each other. My 2 neighbors over there and my 2 neighbors over there. Their lawn does not get dug up as much as mine. So I'm going to try one more time, put some more seed down sod, and take it from there. But before I forget, let me make a public service announcement. I'm not sure if you heard this, Shar, or did you send it to me? I can't remember if you sent it to me or somebody sent it to me. It was a video on the social media in Toronto, but I'm sure it's all around North America, not just Toronto. But they mentioned 2 malls here, 2 major malls, Vaughan Mills, and I think the lady mentioned Yorkdale. So what they're saying is it takes weeks to get it out. This oh god, jeez. I'm glad it happened now because I'm supposed to get my car detailed because I had spilt some soup in the car last fall that was never dealt with, fish soup. So that car was smelling like fish for like 3 weeks. Now it's gone, but I want to shampoo everything and clean it out properly. So I'm glad it happened now instead of after my shampooing. But they're talking about a kidnapping ring and nothing new. This is not new. So this is just a reminder for those of you to continue to be vigilant and to tell other people to be vigilant. There's a kidnapping ring, sex trafficking. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's along those lines. The person who did the video on social media was kind of upset that the police aren't talking more about it. I don't know if it's the police's job to talk more about it because if they're talking about it and giving details, then they're giving up information in their investigation. And I don't think that's a good plan when you're trying to catch people off guard. So what's happening is a lady let her daughter go to the bathroom. She was sitting in the food court and the child went to the bathroom by themselves. She was sitting there and did not see anybody going in and out the bathroom. So she felt that it was safe. I don't agree. I've said from before this happened, I used to work at summer camps with children. You do not let them go into the bathroom by themselves. But let me tell you the story as it was presented in the video so that you can get a picture. So she's thinking, okay, it's safe. Nobody went in and out. Maybe if somebody went in, she would have went in as well. But she sat in the food court watching the door and she was saying, okay, it's taking a little longer than she thought, a little longer. When she finally got up to go into the washroom, she saw a wheelchair. She saw her child's shoes, and I guess and somebody pushed the stall out. A man pushed her and ran out. Her child was on the floor, passed out. So either an injection or some kind of fumes that you put a rag over their face and you knock them out. And her hair was shaved off. So this is the new ring that they're saying is they get your child, they shave off their hair, they put them in the wheelchair that's already in the washroom, and then good morning, Rock, and they wheel them out. And you're thinking some cancer patient, sickly child. Oh, you've noticed that? Okay, let me hold on a second. Yeah, this is why, Shar. So Vaughn, or as you will see, pimps and young girls dressed provocatively in that. Yeah. So something's, and Vaughan Mills is like a suburban area. Like you need a car. It's more affluent. People with money kind of be over there. It's not like it's downtown Jane and Finch. It's not like it's Young and Bloor. Remember back in the day, it was like Young and Bloor. It was Jarvis Street down in the core. And yeah. So this is the ring that they're doing. And people are not going to notice or have alarm bells ringing because you have a wheelchair. They're passed out, but maybe they prop them up and they look sickly. They shave their head and they think, oh, poor poor girl, she's not feeling well, and people just go on about their business. And by the time you realize, they're gone. And we need to be more vigilant. Do not let your child go into the washroom by themselves. People, I've said this from way back, and people seem to forget it and need to hear the police tell you. The police don't need to tell you nothing. You know what's going on in these streets. Good morning, Mona did what? And you know what's going on around the globe. You know that certain age groups are popular. You know that pubescent girls are popular. Um, some perverts like to have young girls. Some can't even say the word perverts pay extra for virgin. Like there's a whole demonic, disgusting set of people and clientele that they're catering to. And going to the washroom is a dangerous place. If you're in the lunchroom or the food court waiting and they're going in there by yourself, nah. You need to go in there, you need to open the stalls, you need to check, and you need to stand in there, and you need to have your head on swivel. Don't have your back towards anything. You have your head on swivel. And if she didn't go in there when she did, I don't think they would have found that child, because she was passed out. Then she's going to be disoriented. She's not going to even know where she was, what direction she went into. No description of like nothing. She was out cold. So just please be mindful, be vigilant. Char's noticing that. Yeah, there's the sex trade used to be, back in my day, it was voluntary. People would go into it because that's what not really, I say voluntary loosely. So don't take it literally. People end up in some situations, but it wasn't like, how it is now, where you're 12, 13, getting kidnapped, being forced into a lifestyle. You can't find, oh, your kids work in that area. Oh, I think my thing just froze up. When you're in the stores and you're in the mall, pay attention. Just pay attention. I never let my kids go to the washroom alone. Even now, you go in groups. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand. I don't understand why, it grows way back. It goes way back. I'm telling you, the folks with all the money has had. Oh, of course, I definitely believe that. Triple. They are involved in it. This is part of their bread and butter. The hotel industry, as you guys saw, yes, there's underground tunnels that connect rooms, and you never find people again. Um, you just have to be conscious with your children. You can't save everybody, but take your kids, walk them to the washroom. Hey, Darren, do not let them go in there by themselves. If you are a young girl in your 20s, you go to the bathroom with groups of other girls. If you're at a club, you go with a group of people. You take your drink with you. I don't drink in the bathroom, but in certain circumstances, you take your liquor with you. If you can't take it with you because they have rules, you finish your drink and then you go to the washroom. You do not leave your drink unattended, even with your friends. Your friends don't watch your stuff the way you think they should watch your drink. Do not drink a drink that you did not watch them pour in front of you, and it was not in front of you the entire time. Don't do it. Don't turn your head from your drink. Your drink should be in your hand and in front of you. Wherever you turn, the drink is in front of you. Trust and believe. I've seen things, I've heard things. I know how these streets move. Don't do it. You go to the washroom, if you're 18, whatever, you're a girl, oh, I can go. No, you go with your friends. You go with your friends and you all leave the washroom together. Good morning, Lashes. Girls in school here and leave school. And yeah. And parents, I know some of you track your child with your phone and so forth. Even that is not enough, because that's the first thing. Hey, Rashonda, that's the first thing that the perpetrators get rid of. They throw the phone in the bin or whatever. So you're gonna have to. I'm not gonna discuss it in detail, because I find that people who are in criminal elements listen to us talk and then take these tips. So all I'm saying to you is, They have those air tags. Put those air tags in strategic places, and don't tell people where you're putting these things, and just put multiple air tags so that you have multiple chances to track your child if need be. Keep the line of communication open, that they know they can talk to you, and they should tell you where they're going. Long are the days where you would skip school and go hang out with your friends and it wasn't that big of a deal. Your parents kind of knew you did it, but it wasn't that big of a deal because kidnapping wasn't a concern. It was just, okay, your grades, and maybe you're going to smoke something. Those days are long gone. You need to know where your kids are. Your kids need to understand that I need to know where you are. I need to know where to look. If I'm thinking you're at school and you're not at school, like, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position, because I don't even know where to start looking or where to tell people where you were. Like, you're making it easier for the criminal element just to take off with you. So use your air tags, and other products that they have to track your child. And I don't believe in invading their privacy, but just, if you need to know where they are, you know where they are. Yeah, use air tags, and just, don't even tell them where the tags are in some cases, because it's just, it's just, you have to be careful. And you only need them if you don't know where your child is. You don't need to be tracking their every move because that's not healthy either, but you know where they are. It's a problem over here in Toronto. And from what the video said, there's over 60 cases of this going on. And I don't even know if the 60 cases, the child it was stopped, or there were 60 cases that the kids are missing. So yeah, it ain't a joke. Um, it's a problem. And if Vaughan, and they say Yorkdale, there's like, it's so open and so flagrant. And the problem, the root of the problem is the customers. Someone's paying for these services. And you think, oh, some disgusting person. Sometimes it's the nice little man down the street, the nice little decent looking nerdy man. Or somebody who has their own children. Don't care about your kids, but he cares about his own kids. Someone's paying for this. So let's just be cautious and mindful. I don't want to go on it too long, but the police aren't going to always just, hey, juicing with Jay and Canadian. Some people are under the impression that the police should tell you what's going on. If that's what you're waiting for, then you ain't ready for these streets. And maybe you need to revisit Street Smart. The police can't give out their hand. They can't let the criminals know what they're seeing, what they're noticing, and whatever. They got to keep their case close. I started telling my kids about this in grade school. Drinks, bathrooms, sex trade, etc. Great idea on the finders. Also, check your belongings for trackers. Yes, I know that they're tagging women's vehicles, and there's certain things that's happening. There's a lot of videos on that already. I'm not going to discuss that, but just be mindful. I'm making sure when I park my vehicle, I said a couple of weeks ago, a truck came, a white truck, that just gave me a red flag. It was innocent, but because I'm just so mindful, yesterday I wasn't mindful. I had my car open. I was in the passenger side. I had the door open ajar, and I was fiddling with my bag. Someone who was inebriated or drunk was passing by, and instead of him passing by wide, like away from my car, he was like right up the car. And my sister's like, yo, my sister's like to me, like, yo, you're not being conscious, like you're not paying attention. And I wasn't. And I'm like, this dirty man just come right up on the car. So I didn't have my head on swivel. I was, just wasn't paying attention. My sister was in the back in the trunk getting something out. And it's like, I need to be paying attention. Especially when the car is running. So just little things like that. It's not easy to skip class anymore. All kids are tracked from the school. Oh, that was our day, right? Shar, you could just skip school in between, go to lunch and don't come back. Their phones let me know when they leave the house. when they arrive at school and leave. But like you said, phones can be yeah, phones can be tossed. And I don't know if this child had a phone, but there was more to the story. She didn't go into it. It was a short clip on either one of those platforms, and then people are sharing it around, um, and letting people know, like, yo, be mindful, like malls that we know and we frequent, be mindful. And it's like, yeah, let me remind myself to be mindful, because you're just thinking, okay, I'm in the suburbs, I'm cool, it's safe over here. Nope. They're there because people are not as mindful and not as vigilant. A dirty old man was watching me when I was, yeah, disgusting. Women are involved in the corruption, definitely. They are the key players. Good morning, she said. They are the key players in yeah, in this operation. But in this case, it was a man in the washroom. I don't know, I don't know the whole what happened before she was knocked out. Maybe something else happened, but from what the story said, it was a man in the washroom. They're in the washrooms waiting. They got all day and all night to sit in the washrooms and to sit there waiting. So don't be looking for people to be going in and out the washroom. They're already in there. So don't just let your kids go in the washroom. I've been saying this. I'm kind of getting irritated that people just don't seem to get it. Um, this is not just in the malls, the church, anywhere that there are people. I don't care if you trust these people. You don't know what people are capable of, what's going on behind closed doors. Be vigilant. Have a teach your kids to have groups. You know, don't be going anywhere by yourself. Even as a grown woman, I can't be going places by myself. I got to let people know, okay, I'm going around the back. Oh, I'm going over here. Even last night, I had to put the chickens away. I'm on the phone with my sister. I'm like, okay, I'm putting the chickens away just in case. If somebody wants to come around the back of my property because there's nothing behind me, there's, a ravine. They could, anything could happen. As I told you, I blew the whistle a few days ago to scare the skunk, and nobody even came and looked to see, oh, are you okay? Right in front of my house, someone could take me. So don't think that, be careful. Let people know where you are. Let people know, okay, I'm home. Okay, I'm inside. The doors are locked. Okay, perfect. Hey, G Mama, just be vigilant. It's fall time. Good morning, David. And I know over here it gets dark early, and our clock is going to go back probably in October. So probably by 6 p.m., 6:30, it's dark over here, pitch black. So from 6 p.m., you have perpetrators out here doing whatever. It's not the same as in the summertime. So you don't have daylight on your side. You don't have people are inside hibernating, watching TV, watching their sports on full volume, and they may not hear what's happening outside. That's just the reality. They're not being literally are in their own world. Good morning, Tamika. So you need to, you can't rely on your little whistle. Let me just tell you that right now. I blew the whistle for a skunk and nobody came and looked. Okay, so she's triple saying that they dress as females going into the restrooms as well. And the other aspect as well. If you identify, then whatever. So you all need to go in the washroom, period. You need to go in there with them. Today is also in Canada the Day of Truth and Reconciliation. I think this is the third one, if I'm correct. So First Nations history is being discussed in different workplaces about their issues and the plight, all the things that relate to First Nations. And because it's on a weekend, some of us get Monday off. It's a federal thing, but not all the provinces go by it. But that's also what's going on. So you may see a lot of that happening in Canada if you watch Canadian TV. Keep up knife and steel baton. I have a machete. I see it's a garden tool, and I have it in my front door. I have one in my bedroom. Good morning, Miss Ellen. I have one at my front door. I usually carry it outside when I go in the back. I have an axe in my car allegedly, and I have some knives. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not promoting breaking any laws or by any means, but if you're relying on somebody else to come and help you, you're going to be sadly mistaken. By the time they hear you, you know, Yeah, exactly, Demood. How they feel. So, whoops, hold on 1 second. Okay, just heads up for the weather. Um, I have my opinions about that as well. I'm not gonna say anything because everything you'll be canceled, but I have some issues with some things, but I'm not gonna discuss it on social media. We can always discuss those things and on the side. Um, but you're made to your feelings don't count. Your feelings don't count. Yeah, exactly, David. I'm not gonna put that up there, but exactly. Hey Tree Rogi. She named them Siri and Alexa. So yeah, we gotta be the government gets a holiday because natives were mistreated. No offense, but a holiday means, oh, of course, yeah, means nothing. But I hope people are using this to educate themselves. I try to educate myself. I try to talk about it, let people look up what it's about. But yeah, of course, I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't make up. What are you doing to make up for all the even the current issues that are going on? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we have to demand some more change. But yeah, they get a holiday. And then I think the first two holidays are the prime minister wasn't even there at any of the events. They're out off doing their own thing. So I think he got told off. So now he has to be here. Also, what happened in politics, which I didn't look up, but I'll just mention it quickly. I was shocked because again, I don't really stay into the news. Our Speaker of the House, I think it was the Speaker of the House, and he had to resign. Was introducing this war veteran from the war, and they found out that he fought with the Nazis. And it's this big thing. He recognized him and standing ovation and all kind of something because he fought in the war. He's 80-year-old something year old veteran. Maybe you should have checked what team he was playing for before you came up and gave him standing ovation. So that's a whole big controversy in the parliament, and he had to resign. So he resigned, and yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. I'm just like, and funny enough, funny not funny, is I saw a feed on my Instagram and I saved it because it's a lot of history that we don't even understand. That even a lot of the war criminals that never went to trial were brought to the U.S. and Canada, especially the scientists that they did all that experimenting and torturing. They were brought to America, especially America and even Canada, to do science over here. So quite a few individuals from that era never stood trial, never had any consequences, and were given employment in North America. So that's what happened. And there's a lot of people now, it's coming out the woodwork because they changed their name to a non German name, and they've been living here for years. For years. Canadians saying, how about we just get along better? That would help. But I do think, in terms of the truth and reconciliation, I've said this before, and everyone has their own opinion, which is fine. Everyone wants to just, can't we all just get along and we all just move forward? No, you need to acknowledge, and there needs to be some truth of what happened. You can't keep covering things under the carpet or just saying to people, move on. There needs to be some acknowledgement. And for the first time, I've seen some acknowledgement only because they paid to get the land scanned and excavated to prove and show the graves all around, even some church sites and cemeteries and underneath schools, and all of the evidentiary things that were brought forward. Now they get an apology from the nation, and so on and so forth. I just, I really don't believe you can just move forward without cleaning. It's like when you move into a house, you gotta clean the house. And some of us believe in, like the bad juju. So you'll burn some stuff, and you'll, smoke out the bad spirits and all kind of stuff. Like that's kind of what you got to do before you can move forward and make yourself comfortable in the place. It's not just as get over it. I don't know why people keep saying that and expect that's even possible. And it's, yeah, we're divided. We're definitely divided because we can't even agree on anything. We can't agree on anything, and nobody knows everything. Nobody knows, but you can't just well, the issue was there. Well, they were bodies, but they never acknowledged the bodies. All those nuns and all those people, hey, Big Rooster, they knew, they know. But then they leave it to us to prove it, and then we have to prove it before they would acknowledge it when they already knew it was there in the first place. And then what happens is so much time passes, and the victims get older themselves, and some of them pass away. So then the witnesses of these things get less and less. So it's a hot mess. There's a lot going on. I don't go too deep into it because I'm just trying to live day by day. But you have to take notice. Reparation. Yep. Some people don't want to hear that word, but I'm doing a lot of studying and reading and trying to see different perspectives. I'm getting a lot of historical stuff on my feed because that's what I'm looking at. So the algorithm is feeding it to me. And there's a lot of facts that really, you know, it even goes back to the point. 'Cause I know David and Stardust are one of the first two people that I encountered on social media that really were talking about indigenous blacks, that they're not descendants of slaves, and bringing that to the forefront. So when I started looking up and I'm seeing them finding people in Brazil. They're finding all over the place because we were explorers. We were exploring before before all of them people. We had the the winds documented, which when to go on boats, when the winds were more powerful, which direction. They had certain things mapped out from before. But even I got a video this week about the Egyptians, and they scientists from even the 80s were testing the hair to determine the racial group that was the mummies were from, based on the hair texture and the analysis. And they've been doing this. The Europeans have found this evidence long time ago. But if you go to Egypt, they'll say that they're the Egyptians. You're not the historical Egyptians. You're not. But anyways, let's not go too deep into there. Um, yes, exactly. I agree, David, because people don't understand that they were already indigenous. And I was even seeing a video. I don't know if you guys saw it. They're bringing some old videos out in on the gram. So they're talking about Shaka Khan, who I forgot what tribe she's from. I can't remember the name, but she was wearing the outfit, and then I guess they're saying like in those days she was culturally appropriating. No, that's her culture. People don't understand. Flavor Flav wore the native outfit. They're saying, oh, he was appropriating. No, he's First Nation. That is what it is. You know, that's what it is. But people don't understand their history, and that's not taught in school. I had to do a lot of my research myself. I didn't get it from the schools, and I'm sure most of you same thing. You don't have any reference in your schooling of learning this stuff. You had to go and learn it yourself. So there's a lot of history. There's a lot of mix up. There's a lot of overlapping, and we just need to clear it and get the facts straight. And that's very important. I don't think you can move forward without knowing what happened and understanding the past. Hold on, my sister's texting me. Um, Hold on a second here. Let me drop the link again as well. Bear with me 1 second while I deal with something real quick. Because someone didn't give me a second here. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Lo. I took that out. Okay. I saw your comment, David. I'm not gonna put it up because I'm not sure if that's gonna cause a problem with the algorithm. So I'll just take that out. But I saw it. Did I block you? I hope I didn't. No, let me show it and then I'll. Okay, someone else. Okay. But I saw your comment, David. This is part of the problem. I don't even fully understand. I'm researching. People don't understand the difference between ethnicity, race, and culture. And I think we think the words are interchangeable, but they're really not. So I think there's a bit of confusion. I don't know if it's confusion, but maybe we've used the words interchangeably and now we're confusing what the words are, the distinction. But yeah, definitely there's classism, definitely. And there's one lady that I saw, she's quote unquote Caucasian, and she was even saying, I don't know her name, I'm sure she's well known. She was talking about that everybody comes from well, she says everyone comes from Black people, and all this division doesn't even make any sense if you know your history, but people don't know. And the divide is so deep that it's hard for people to see clearly. Okay. I'm trying to adjust to this. What do you mean you're in Texas? You move? How are you in Texas? Are you visiting Big Rooster? Okay. Let me just make sure. Yeah, they were all over the lands. That's what the dark age is truly about. There's a lot of information out there. Good morning, TLC. Oh, visiting. Okay. Visiting. So there's a lot going on in these streets. So that's what happened so far. I've been seeing in these streets. I was talking to some young people. It's funny. Everything just comes together at the same time. So I put something on my gram feed. I remixed a video, and this guy was talking about he young man was saying he would do a trade. Basically, he would do a trade, get a job right away, buy some property, build himself, versus um go to college and have all this college debt. So some of the young people here, one in particular, he is in the trades and he's now going back to his high school and he's promoting the trades. He is a mechanic, but I don't know the differences, but something about diesel. Um, he does the big trucks and the courier vans and the 5-ton trucks, as well as regular vehicles. He is early 20s, maybe mid 20s. Maybe I'm making him younger than he is. I know him since he was born pretty much. I know both of his parents. Um, and his parents are not together anymore, but I know them both very well. And he wanted to do the trades. His mom was like, no, 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 you got to go to college, this and that and the third. She's a nurse. She came here, you go to school, become a nurse, um, come to this country. And, nursing is a big thing for most Caribbean women. That's the field that you go into. And you keep going to school and you upgrade yourself. Hey, Fifi. So the teacher had to call her and talk to her and say, there's nothing wrong with the trades. The trades are a good field, good industry to go into, and it's very lucrative. And you can open your own business. She had it in her head, a certain way to go through life. And she had to sit down with the teacher and he had to explain to her. So her son is in the trades. He got a job right away. And he has now opened his own trucking company and he has his own mechanic shop and he's telling others about tax write-offs and all the doors and things that open to you when you're an entrepreneur versus working for somebody. So I'm very pleased. He's giving back to the community, but these kids are getting it. Like, they're getting it. And he was being pushed to go to post-secondary, school. And he's like, no, it's not for me. You can go to school at any time in life. You can go in your 40s. You don't have to go right after high school. But right now he has a trade, he has a job, he has a business, and he's engaged now. He recently got engaged to his girlfriend, and she is in the education system. I think she's a teacher. So they're doing very well, but he understands, and he said in his own words, I'm avoiding the matrix. I'm not engaging in, oh, smart guy. Exactly. There's a shortage of trades. And sometimes as parents, you're pushing them down a particular path because that's, school. Why do you want, he has no school debt. And that child, he's making over $150,000 a year. And he's a kid. Can you imagine in another 5 to 10 years? So there's nothing wrong with trades. Promote trades and promote entrepreneurship. They can open their own business. And another one, his cousin, who I also have known them all their life. His parents are the parents that I know who own a restaurant, and they give me a lot of the food for the chickens. They give me the food. I would call owning a truck a trade job. Well, he's a mechanic. He fixes the trucks as well. And I believe he's doing trucking in terms of delivering medical supplies. He's a smart kid. These kids get it. I'm so happy that they get it. Um, and her kids went to school. Most of her kids are in law enforcement, correctional. They went along those lines. And they have a restaurant, and none of the kids were really interested in the restaurant. And I was trying to tell her, like, to encourage one of them or two of them, because it's like, even if you're not into cooking food, you can hire a chef, you have an automated business. It's already on Uber Eats and all the different platforms to order and get delivery. The restaurant is well known, it's running itself. Her youngest, second youngest, it has taken an interest. Even though he has his own career, his own job, his own thing, he has decided to be more involved in running the business, having staff, because they understand now, they get it. Cash flow is king. That restaurant gives you a lot of cash flow. Exactly, David. You have a trade, and they're getting it. They're getting it. It's not about, I don't know about you all. We've been so brainwashed, is you have to love everything you do. Oh, it has to be my passion. You can do things that are not your passion while you're still finding your passion and make some money. Because they're not into the food industry. That was their dad's dream, to be in the food industry. I don't need to be in love with the food, but people got to eat. So why can't you guys as kids keep that business going? Because the parents want to leave you the business, leave you the keys to the kingdom. They've already built it, and they even have a second and third restaurant. All they need is the bodies to kind of manage it and run it. They're well known. You can have a chain. You don't have to love it, but your parents have built you something that has significant cash flow. You can still have your own dreams on the side, your own whatever you want to do, and work together with your siblings and keep that going. So now the youngest son gets it. And he's there working, putting in the time. He put some renovations, they get it. You don't have to work hard like we worked. I had to work hard. They get it. Now they're understanding, okay. Let me see what that's what he said. He does a diesel. I don't know what that means, but he said it's a different license, and he did very well. He was working for a company, and he got promoted and became the team lead. And he's a kid, and he was leading these grown men who were kind of jealous, but he's good at what he does. My son does the same thing and makes a nice six-figure salary in his 20s. No student loans. If he wants to do schooling later on in life, all for it. Whatever he wants, he can pay for it cash. My two great granddaughters graduated this HS this summer. I don't know what that means. Both deferred college for at least a year to work, save, and plan. Both started with good wages, still living at home. Nothing wrong with that. But they're not pushing the trades. I think when I was going to school, we had a whole department for the trades. We had plumbing. Hey, Carmen, we had plumbing, electrical, carpentry, and something else. Carpentry / construction and something else. Mechanics. We had a mechanic division because a lot of the teachers would ask other teachers to put the car into the shop so that they could teach the kids how to do it. Then the licensed mechanic, which is a teacher, would oversee the work, sign off on it, and then you get your car back. And it was cheaper than going to the actual mechanic. Nowadays, I think they took out all the tech schools over here in Toronto, that is. I don't know about where you guys are at, but it's not as big. I definitely think trades are important and we need to push the trades. Not everybody needs to go and get a degree in fine arts. What the hell are you gonna do with damn fine? Anyways, maybe someone here has fine arts. What the hell are you gonna do with fine arts degree? And then you're calling my people to come and fix your plumbing. It don't make no sense. Learn a trade. They are starting to teach trades here in Virginia schools again, thanks to the new governor. Trades are important. So some of you who may think, oh no, I want them to go to school and get this, that. Listen, let them get a trade. Nothing's wrong with a trade. Trades free you from the system, and you get to open your own business. You don't have to work for somebody. You start there. You do your apprenticeship. You can have your own company. This kid has his own company. He's hiring staff. I'll have to probably interview to work for him to be his secretary. This is serious business. These kids are getting it. They're getting it. Opening your own business opens you to a lot of tax credits and tax write-offs. Hey, planter. A lot of educated bums. Oh my, listen. A lot of educated bums out here. Yeah. Can't find a job. And I know somebody who used to work at McDonald's. Oh, I probably shouldn't say the company. Oh, worked at the Golden Arches. And people used to laugh at him and his wife, now wife, then girlfriend. And they worked their way up and they became managers. And I believe he left and opened his own restaurant, and he has a very nice restaurant. But I think what he should have done is he should have, in my opinion, but hindsight is always 2020. He should have bought a franchise, bought one of the locations, because he was already high up in the corporation, manager, and then like he was a regional manager for the Golden Arches. He should have probably bought a franchise because it's hard to get one, and owned one of, even though he doesn't agree with eating that kind of crap, because that could have generated a lot of income, and that could have been given and left for his children to own that, and it runs itself, and you hire somebody from the corporation and they can run it for you. We need to start thinking bigger, because if he had a franchise, a location, even where he used to live, Jane and Finch, which is kind of a lower income area, the McDonald's there is never empty. Trust and believe. I know I used to get my shoes fixed from somebody like that. Yeah, he owned a little shop. He had a job, and in the evenings he would open his shop, and he would fix purses, like the straps, shoes, all of that stuff. Yep. Know how to do something with your hands. I do I have a trade? Kind of. I'm rusty at some of my stuff, but I can do it. I can relearn and figure out some stuff. And I have no problem going to school right now. I'm even considering maybe going to take either plumbing or electrical because I'm paying a lot to get that stuff done at the properties. But at the very least, I'm seriously considering taking a course on how to fix appliances. Because one of my friends who's a corporation guy, he owns a lot of properties, but he fixes his own washer, dryers, and those kind of appliances. He fixes them himself. Um, and that might be a good thing for me to start doing, learning how to fix washing machines, dryers, and snow blow stuff like that, small appliances. I'm already needing those things anyways. We had clerical, woodwork, electrical, cooking. Oh yeah, we did have cooking. Yes, we had restaurant at my high school. We had the restaurant program, plumbing and mechanical when I went to school. And then those kids would go to college to take the hospitality program. And our kids from my high school and a high school downtown in Toronto called Central, they their kids did better in the college because they already were taught about the food handling, cleanliness, wearing the unit, keeping your uniform clean, all those little stuff. They already were doing that in the high school program. Serving food, man, they were good. A lot of the guys went into and then they were kind of looked down upon because why are men cook like no, that's another bull crap. And those guys did very well in the hospitality program. You can open your own restaurant, you can work at hotels, there's so much things that you can do. Please promote the trades. We need to start promoting them because these kids, I don't know what they think they're going to be doing. They think they're all going to get an NBA contract and play in the sports field. Yeah, sure. Some of those guys who even are in the NBA are broke after. They don't know nothing about money. They don't know a damn thing about money. Need to learn how to handle money. Our high schools here teach trades or start to fast track for college for things like nursing, doctors, etc. If the kids play it right, they can even graduate with their associate's degree. Telling you. I'm telling you. I think we're at an age where the kids have a lot of information coming at them and we need to guide them, and trades are a good thing. You can go to university and college anytime. And a lot of the kids nowadays are too mature for that college experience. I did the college experience. I took a long gap in between, went back just to finish. And it's just, you're too mature for the foolishness that these kids are doing. But you just did it just to get the paper so you could, at least accomplish something. Because especially when your parents are immigrants, having somebody, some of your kids graduate is a goal because they were told, they're not going to be nothing and they came to this country for your kids to get a better life. And it means something when some of you as kids get your degree. It does mean something for the family. So I'm not knocking that, but we all don't have to go down that same path. Mowing, I'm telling you, just pull up social media concerns. So just think about what's going on out there. Even us as grown adults who think, oh, you can go get a trade right now. So I was saying I'm going to learn how to fix the appliances because that's going to help me with my business. Right now, I'm paying people to fix the washers and dryers, which I don't mind. Sometimes you need to do that, especially when you're in a different town. You have someone that you can rely on. They go fix it for you. You pay them, and you're going to write it off. But sometimes these tradespeople don't want to give you an actual receipt. You need a receipt for tax write-offs. I can't be always paying cash under the table. That's not really going to help me when I'm running a business and I need tax write-offs. And sometimes you can pay yourself. Or because I have a network of people who have properties, they can pay me to go fix the appliance. That's probably better. And then the money stays in the circle and I can just start to scale back off of work because I don't need to work 40 hours a week because I'm fixing, so many appliances per week, and I can start to hang back from the 9 to 5, which and make the same money and have less office politics and less foolishness. Because the last couple of meetings at work, I had to put my mic on mute the last meeting because I was telling some things, and you know they didn't like that. So the last meeting I just kept quiet. Can't take it no more. Can't take it. That too. Doctors and nurses are leaving because of the stress, the matrix. So don't get sick, guys. Stay healthy. Don't get sick. Don't get sick because the nurses that we have there and doctors don't know what they're doing. We already talked about that last week, right? With the child born with missing their head. This is at a hospital, but they're worried about midwives. I've never heard of that happening with a midwife. Maybe I'm not in the loop, but I've never heard that. Okay, exit time. I'm just looking at the time. Your dreams for your kids may not be theirs. I learned that from my daughter. Definitely. But I'm glad that the mowing is beneath them. Some people do, yeah. That this is the problem. Some people don't understand the long game. So we have to sometimes just give them another picture for them to think about. We can't make anybody do what they don't want to do, but you can get them to think about it. Because you can there's just one kid that mows and he shovels the snow in the wintertime. And he thinks it's a little job, a little part-time job, but you can make it bigger than it is. You could have snow blowers, you could do the whole block, you can have it's a whole thing. It's you limit yourself by your mindset. Got to change your mindset. There are people who have a whole my neighborhood has a lot of older people now, so they can't really handle the mowing. Um yeah, I put the app on mute and the headset on mute, and I was just on mute because I said the last 2 meetings before I missed two. I think I was sick one week, and I was just like, "Yo." uh, Then they want to act like they don't know what we already discussed for the last year and want to start over again. Anyways, let's not even go there. But people are tired of the foolishness at work. They're tired of the foolery at work. But we have to just think bigger. And there's nothing more important, I think, than the kids nowadays having their own business, being their own boss, not having to go to work and hear the foolishness and go to these stupid meetings with the team and talk about the same stupid stuff week after week in the same circle. And it's like, really? Just cut me my check, please. I'm at that point where just cut me my check. Friday, okay, it's Friday, it's payday. Cut me my check. I don't care what's burning. I don't care what's falling down. Because if you don't care and it's your company, don't expect me to care. That's where I am now. That's where I am now. Then I'm in the meeting texting my friends on my phone saying, "What did Ross? What did?" And we're talking on the phone, but not on the work platform because we ain't that stupid. We know how that works, and we're complaining to each other on the phone. But my mic was on mute. My mic was on mute, and the app was on mute, just to make sure that that was muted, extra muted, so they wouldn't even hear me breathing. And then sometimes I go and I have a drink because I work from home now, right? So you can't tell me what to drink. You have to prove it, right? Everything is grape juice until it's not. I was just like, can't take it. Can't take it. Everyone's stressed out. People are stressed out. People have been on sick leave and haven't come back in 3 years. Like, you know, somebody had a heart attack while on the job and felt guilty of calling in sick and drove himself. Like, this is a foolishness. They have us brainwashed like we're slaves. I was sick last week and I felt bad. I'm like, what the hell do I feel bad? I'm sick. They have us brainwashed. I'm telling you, people are looking for jobs. But it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, same crap over there. But at least you want to get paid more money to have to deal with the foolishness. Foolishness. Then they're sending stuff overseas to third world countries to do some work. And they're making pure mistakes, which is making us more work because we got to fix all these mistakes. Then when we check the employee number, they're in these offshore countries because they work over there for $4 an hour. Everything that at the company, I've been in the company for a long time, but in the last 5 to 8 years, there's a lot more. They call it automation. Then they called it auto something. Now they're just calling it AI. Straight up, just calling it AI. And anything else that can be done offshore is being done offshore. But they don't care that it's not accurate and the quality of the work is not being done well. They don't care. They care about the bottom dollar. So all of the people who are retiring now or on leave, they're not replacing them, which is leaving more work for the smaller group that's left who is not able to retire yet. This is not the way to go, guys. Young people, don't do it. You're dispensable. They don't care about you. They don't care. You make suggestions to make things better, and they just care about the bottom dollar. And then they act like, oh, I remember one year they had a meeting about negativity, and they brought some people in the office. I was brought in the office too. Oh, about negativity, pockets of negativity in the office. So because I'm telling the truth, I'm negative? Because I'm telling you the truth that you want to deny. Oh, we can't have that atmosphere. We need to have a positive atmosphere. Hey, GE, he not coming back. Sure, him not come back. Then the other person that was replacing Frenchie, I'm emailing him. I found out yesterday that he retired in 2022, June of 20. I'm emailing this man to do something. I emailed him twice. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting an answer. So I emailed the other guy. He's like, no wonder you didn't get an answer. He retired. I go, I never got an announcement that he retired. The man's not even there. So they're telling us to email this other dude who doesn't even work there anymore. The blind leading the blind. I'm like, Lord, can I win the lottery, please? Just a good 9 million. 9 million could I will have to work again. I will invest some. Just give me 9 million and I'll be happy. This is what it's coming to. People are on stress leave. People are in the hospital. Seriously. The job is driving them into the ground. I said to everyone, this job not driving into no ground. Did not drive me into no ground. Telling you that off the top. Off the top. And a lot of people have these jobs. My sister has a job, very stressful. They call you all hours of day and night. Don't call me all hours of day and night. This is not around the clock kind of job. Oh, but the work has to get done. In a business. When it's time to clock out, unless even if someone's dying, don't call me. Call their family, next of kin. Don't call me. You pay me for the hours of X to X, Monday to Friday. Don't call me Saturday. Don't call me Sunday. That's the kind of person I am. Oh, you can't do that. You got Minicure. You ain't paying me for that. If you want that extra time and investment, you got to pay me more money to be on the clock and be chained to the company's cell phone because I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. And that's why I got promoted to a certain point, but not any further because I am not willing to be your slave beyond what have I agreed to be your slave for the 9 to 5 paycheck. Anything beyond that, that's not me. I ain't doing it. Oh, you have to be on call. A call for what? Am I a surgeon? I ain't no damn surgeon. Not doing it. Not doing it. They want people actually on vacation in the Caribbean, and I gotta this. I gotta put out some fires. Let the place burn down. I don't think I care. It's not my company. Oh, that's a bad attitude. Maybe it is. It's not my company. I'm just an employee. I'm replaceable at any given point. And the problem is you actually believe that you're important, that your participation is some kind of value that they're going to reward you with. They're going to reward you with a cheap clock made in China. Some cheap clock after 40 years of service. That's what you're going to get. And maybe you'll give you an extra day of vacation. That's what you're going to get. Like, start looking at things clearly. They don't give two craps about you. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. My old boss, when I lost my sister, all they got to do is click, 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 and send a bouquet of flowers and send whatever. It's automated for them, for management. It's automated. Didn't get nothing. This man, smile in your face, oh, how he likes you and this and that. That man didn't like me. He didn't like me because of my ethnicity. That he pretended like it wasn't that, but it was. I'm not stupid. Because this is what happened when I met the man. I got promoted. It's not in my head. I'm not making it up. I'm not mistaken. This is what happened. He talked to me on the phone several times, but on my voice sounds a particular way. So he didn't know, he assumed maybe what I was. When he saw me and my colleague who was training me and he came, I said, "Hi, I'm so and so." He looked at me in shock and dismay. He couldn't even hide it. Then he looked at my colleague saying, "Is that's," and the guy's like, "Yeah, that's, like, fix your damn face. You're giving yourself away, idiot." And he's like, "That's her? Yeah, I'm so and so. Yeah." And I put my hand out, "I'm so and so. It's me. You talked to me on the phone, remember? Blah, 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 blah. He, smiling." I'm in my head like a damn wretch. I knew from that moment it's going to be 2 years. I had a 2-year promotion with them. 2 years of hell. And that's when I learned about the nice nasty. They're nice, but they're nasty. And you can't catch them in anything. You can't really catch them because they're nice. And the man would try so much things behind my back, but the Holy Spirit would warn me every time. Couldn't catch me. And I caught him so many times. Humpty Dumpty, we call him, because he had the body of Humpty Dumpty. He looks like a Humpty Dumpty. We're Caribbean. We make names for everybody. We call him Humpty Dumpty. The man was wicked. Wicked. Went to work, smiled, prayed every morning, going to work smiling. Man was a snake. Snake. And you had to go to work every day and smile and be positive, and you're working with snakes. My colleague was a snake too. And because I'm the kind of person, I don't need to fit in with you. I'm not going to water myself down. I am who I am. I'm not going to pretend. I'm certainly not going to, I can't kiss my own butt, so I'm not kissing yours. So that ain't going to happen. And because I have a strong personality, he hated me even more. Hate me. You already hated me anyways. You made that very clear when you realized who I was and what I looked like. That he made that very clear. And he would give me tasks to do that he thought I couldn't do, and I would fail. And I passed every single one of them. Man had me driving big truck. Never drive big truck in my life. I drive big truck. Had to reverse park that truck. I'm like, God help me, Jesus. Lord, just help me. Lord, help me, Lord. And God help me. He wanted me to do things and make mistakes and to fail. Trying to set me up every single time. Telling you, these people don't give two craps about you. Nosy. The man was nosy. The man had pum energy left and right. Snake. Telling you, it is mentally taxing. And they try to break you down. And you have to be mentally tough. I'm telling you, people, 2 men quit. They couldn't take the man. And they're like, "How are you still there?" I said, "They're not going to break me." And when my mother got sick, when my contract was coming to end, my mother got sick. That's what his time when he pushed me out the door and pushed me back to my other department. Snake. The man was a snake. Snake. And I told people, my superiors that were under him but above me, but I had to work directly for him. Don't trust this man. This man was a snake. And it's like, they're just... So anyways, that was 2 years of hell. Hell for him probably, because he couldn't wait to get rid of me, but he couldn't get rid of me. So I'm not loyal to any company, any corporation. They're all about themselves. And the man lie. And then he acts like he's not lying. And then they all stick together. He knows I couldn't stand him. He knows he made me sick. He was so degrading. And another manager who's also Caribbean wasn't having that. And she's like, "If you need me to quit and leave, go somewhere else, let me know right now." And he wouldn't, because he knew that would be a human rights case right then and there. Mentally draining. Hey, girls at the box, they're wicked. So if you can get your kids to do a trade, hey Gina, and get away from that, get out of that. It's not getting any better. It's getting worse. People act like, oh, that was in those days, in those times. It's still here today. Like, I don't get it. It's just more sneaky. It's still here. I had to deal with it. The man would exclude me from meetings. He didn't want me there. Then the vice president's like, where is so and so? Where's me? And brought me to the meeting. The man was mad because she asked me to come to the meeting. Didn't want me in the meeting. Didn't want me in places where I could be seen and where my skills could be seen so I could. Didn't want me there. Don't talk to me about, oh, it's not in my head. I lived it. Did not want me in these meetings. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Howie. This is what people do. The corporation ladder is snakes and dragons. You should play that game. Maybe you should learn about that game to learn about real life workplace. Snakes and ladders. Snakes and dragons. Everything that man would try to do, the Holy Spirit would warn me ahead of time. Every move he tried to make, I got to dream about it. And I would tell my colleagues, go blah, blah, and make this move. And they're like, look at me, I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit speaks to me. Can't catch me by surprise. I don't go through them, I go through God. And every time he's like, how come this, I can't get rid of her. Every time I try something, it don't work because I already had my counterattack planned out. That's why. The man, it was a full-time job to get rid of me and a full-time job to get rid of him. Telling you guys, just keep your eyes open. Nothing's changed. Nothing. The workplace is more corrupt than ever before. My parents used to tell me stories, and it's even worse. They want you to train somebody who got a promotion to do the job that you're supposed to be doing because they don't want to give you the promotion. I'm telling you. Then they want to give you overtime. I haven't done overtime in 3 years. I'm not giving you a drop of overtime. Don't care. Before we would be doing the overtime, running the overtime. Now I'm like, I make what I make. That's it. See you later. I'm not working any overtime. I'm not doing it. They had us, oh, there's ads. Oh, hey, Marlene. I'm not about that life anymore. Especially after the lockdown, 3 different lockdowns, and you kind of see how the world's working and the importance of your mental clarity and your peace and your joy. And you're going into a place where you're not valued and you're not treated like a human being. And when you go through stuff in life, there's not even any care and concern, not even a card to say my condolences, nothing. When my friend's mom passed away, when her mom passed away first. Her mom passed away. I don't think anybody in the management team even showed up for the viewing or her funeral. That happened to me, that happened to her, and that happened to somebody else. This is what the kind of people that we're working for. But can't we all just get along? Well, maybe treat everybody like a person, like a human being, and then we can all get along. This is what I have to deal with. So I don't even care about their goals, their meetings. I don't care about their corporate plans and this and that. They're all going to be working offshore. All of our jobs are going to be offshore, working in countries where they work for $4 an hour, and the company that hires them gets paid double and triple, but the workers get paid $4 an hour. The cost of living is cheaper there. They don't want to give you any benefits. They don't want to give you fully paid sick days. Like start looking at what they're giving you. They don't want to give you any of that stuff. Everything you got to fight for. You got to fight I got to fight to get a day off to go to a wedding during the peak time, Christmas time, because that's their time. You got to beg for everything. I'm like, should I even still be? Why am I still here? Why am I still here? So when you're looking at people who mow lawns and shovel snow for a living, and the peace of mind that they have and the joy that they have because they don't have to deal with all this office bull crap, it's looking kind of good right now. I'll rake some leaves. 8 hours a day of raking leaves. Leaves don't talk back. Leaves don't have clicks. Leaves don't stress you out. The squirrels maybe, but even they make you laugh. This rat race, what does it give you in the long run? I did a whole. Let me drop my link because I'm just talking, but I can talk. But let me put the link down. After the lockdowns, or if you didn't have lockdowns or not, some of you didn't have lockdowns, but after this whole 3 years, you got to reevaluate what you're doing and why you're doing it, and chasing down the almighty dollar for what? By the time you're supposed to retire, you're lucky if you can even walk upright without using a cane. Most people I'm seeing them, they look mash up. Hey, hand to the dirt. They look mash up. I know people firsthand. They got to 65, retired, and they passed away before they even reached 66. What was the point? That's we got something wrong. Something's not making sense to me. We work our butt off for this big old house, pay this mortgage, pay, and we're never home to even enjoy being at home. We can't enjoy all this stuff we paid for, the crown molding and the lights and the heated tile floor. And we're never home to enjoy it. What's the point? We're always at work to pay it off so that we don't lose it. Something don't make no sense. If you are so dependent on the job that if you lose your job, you lose everything, that's not the kind of life I want to live. I think people back home got it correct. In Jamaica, they live simple. They live, hey Carbon. I don't know. I just don't like what I'm seeing, and I certainly don't like how I'm treated at my job. And nothing's gonna get better. It's all gonna be the same. But I'm at the point now. Give me my money.
Right.
Just give me my money so I could do what I want, make my house how I want it, have a house in Jamaica, and then I'm out of here.
Mhm.
See you later.
Hi, Urban. Hi, everybody in the chat. How you doing? I'm glad you
What
took.
about you, Carbon? How do you feel about it?
Um, I think you're right in going back to basics and learning basic things. D-Mood had just mentioned it earlier on in your chat. Government shutdown is going to affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You can have people working for the government that's not even getting paid. Just that psychologically, where you have to go to work and you're not getting any money in your account,
Mm-hmm.
and those are federal workers. The average Joe, the average person. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? That's going to shut down your medical. So many different programs are going to be affected by that if you depend on that, especially our elderly, our young parents who are on WIC and things like that, that may just need assistance. All of that gets shut down, and it's like right around the corner. I don't know if we're paying attention to that, but as many skills that you can do for yourself, you probably just need to go ahead and try to get that done. Even involve your kids into it. That's where we're going
Definitely.
the money, or
All
even
I'm seeing on your guys' end and even in my end is these immigrants coming in. I don't want to talk against immigrants, but they're coming in, refugees like illegally and not going through the right system, and they're saturating over here.
right.
Who's paying for all that? They're putting them up in hotels. I know people who are working for the city, and they're putting them in hotels and paying 3 grand a week per person.
Which is
Who
crazy
can afford 3 grand a week to sustain all these people?
when you have
That's coming out of our services over here.
exactly.
Like
When we have our own homeless people that we don't do anything with, we have
our
veterans
own homeless people already.
we don't take care of. Matter of fact, veteran hospitals are going to be super affected by this government shutdown. Now, you think of all the people that are in services that partook in the services or service members that came back with disabilities, whether it's mental, whether it's physical. Now they don't get it in Sacramento, California. They just opened up a VA there. And these veterans have to wait 100 days to 90 days just to see a doctor. One
Yep.
man lost his leg because he couldn't get his diabetic medication in time, the refill for it. And this is just like the beginning of it. Can you imagine how many, just think about diabetic people in our community, how many we have. And with a shutdown like this, where you're unable to get your medication, how crazy that's going to be. The mental status of people in the world is going to go bananas.
Girl, that's not even a joke because I was thinking about that. I remember the last time my mom was in the hospital and they put her, there was no room for her on her floor. So they put her on a floor with the mental patients. I don't know if you've been on the floor with mental patients before.
Yes, I
I
have.
came into the room. It was God that I came there at the exact moment.
Mm.
She was on the verge of throwing something at my mother, and I had to come in and just like he said, "Yo, I'm not the one. I'm
Right,
not the one.
right,
I will slice and And then I called this nurse. Well, we have nowhere else to put her. She's
mm,
not safe. My mom couldn't sleep because the person was gonna do something. I said, listen here, woman. You're sane enough to know what I'm saying. If you touch my mother, that's their last day on this earth.
I agree.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
It's why my
And I
sister
made it clear. And she didn't touch her from that. I said, if you touch her, if you breathe on her,
the wrong way, right?
security can't help you. Let me just tell you that. So she
Yeah.
must have, her brain must have turned on for that message and she got it because she knew I'm not the one. Not the one.
Mm-hmm.
Security can't help you. The police can't help you. The nurse can't help you.
Right. You might as
I'm
well
gonna
just
lock the door. I'm
right.
gonna lock the door for the room.
And
And
we're
by the time they unlock that door, you're gonna be
Mhm.
plastered on the floor.
Absolutely.
And then when I came into the room, she would always leave.
Yeah,
She wouldn't eat when I was there. She wouldn't do nothing. She would go in the TV room.
you're right.
But
It's
this
when
is what's happening. They're mixing up all the patients together because there's no room and they can't control.
papers.
My friend who's a nurse this
Mhm.
week, her husband told me she got attacked at work.
Wow.
Somebody on that floor, I guess she turned her back to do something
Mm.
and he attacked her.
Yeah,
So now she's at home and she just came back to work off of another injury. The
right.
mental patient. They have more rights than you do.
Hmm. It's
So now
crazy.
she's injured.
Yeah.
I said,
It's weird.
"What?" He goes, "Yeah."
Yeah. And it goes undocumented for a while because what do you do? What do you do after the damage is done? So one of the reasons my sister and I refused to put our mom into
Don't do it.
a
Don't do it.
facility, like we're like absolutely not. We're
We
gonna
had her in the hospital for a bit, but that was the
Mhm.
hospital.
Right.
And I know people who've been put in care, but every care is not the same. There's I
Right.
saw on the news, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know what state it was in. An 80-year-old woman was sexually assaulted by another patient in the home. And he's about in his 80s and has a history and charges. He's a sexual offender, registered offender. What are you
Hmm.
doing at 80, first of all, sir? What do you have to do at 80? I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Assaulted his her grandmother. Then if you have dementia, they're very violent. And a lot
Very
of people's parents have gotten hit in the head with food trays and all these kind of things and they can't do anything about it. You're
right.
putting your parents pretty much in a prison system.
Yeah. With
That's what's
dementia,
happening.
they refer back to almost being like wild teenagers, and if you don't monitor them, you don't watch them. It's crazy. They are very violent, and it's hard because you don't know them to be that person, so you don't expect it. It's a complete 360 of the actual person's personality. And when they go crazy, they go off. They don't care what's in front of them. They don't care who it is, what it is. It is violent. It is very hard to deal with. And when you have a room full of them, and you're not like, I'm just watching my sister and I just watch my mom, and she's a handful.
Hmm.
When you're dealing with a room full of individuals that have that particular diagnosis, is hard. It's terrible. So if you can take care of your parents, like, or your loved ones, you really need to, because when you put them in those settings, you don't know what is going to happen,
You
and they're
don't know what's going to happen.
and they're not in their right mind to know right from wrong. And half the times they forget after they do it.
Yeah.
So it's a tough road to travel, but that's
Yeah.
just.
I don't wish that on anybody, but it's because someone has to sacrifice and be the primary
Mhm.
caregiver in some cases. And my sister did that, thank God. But
Yeah,
you
mine too.
can't put them in these institutions.
Hmm.
We don't know. We know what's happening, but
Yeah,
we don't realize how bad it is. And there's no one to protect your parents. Nobody. The staff
nobody.
are overworked. They can't keep up. They can't keep watching everybody. And then
Hmm.
you go there and your mom has black eyes and a fat lip. Like what happened?
Hmm.
Oh well. Like did you call the police? No. Like and then
Right.
you're in the system of not nothing, just passing the buck.
Yeah. But I think
I
when you're
couldn't do it. I said, you know what? I'm going to end up in jail. I'm really
mhm,
going to end up in jail. So let me just. We need to come out of here.
mhm.
You got to come out of here because
Oh,
that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to have us ending up in jail because I cannot sit there and watch my loved ones being abused. I can't do it. I'm not built for that. Oh, let's have a meeting with the director. Okay, we're gonna have another. I can't do all that stuff.
right.
I'm just straight. Get me a bat. Let me take care of the business for you. We're not having meetings. We're
I
not
agree
calling
with
the
you.
director. We're not having none of that. Who did it? Okay, you did it. Okay, eye
Right.
for an eye. Blap.
Because that's still my mom at the end of the day. I don't want to hear anything
Period.
about it. So it is what it is. But watch what's going on in the news, y'all. I mean, I
Yeah.
see everybody
Watch.
still prepping and doing their things, like really do it. And I can't stress that enough for our community because we're always the ones that don't get that assistance.
No, we don't.
Katrina is still trying to make it out. Make sure we have our stuff to get our families through what we need to get
Well,
them.
look at Mississippi again, right?
Yeah,
The water now is salt.
yeah.
Like they can't catch a break.
In New York, flood just they're flooded
Like,
out. Like it's happening. I know people, before were like, oh, you guys are crazy talking about this, but look at what's going on. Like anybody could get it at this point. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're not hit by a fire, you're hit by a flood, you're hit by your food being restricted or whatever diseases running through your animal, your livestock. It's just crazy. Be prepared. I don't even.
people need to wake up and because they're not waking up. It's ironic. Like how can you not see what's happening? I'm telling people you need to grow your own food. Well, what there's lots of food. Yes, there's lots of food. You're missing the point. Who's going to have access to the food is the key question. And
Right.
you're not going to be on the top list. Let me just tell you right now. You're not going to be on the top five. You're going to be maybe in the bottom two. You're not going to get the food. You're not poor enough to qualify for poor assistance. You're never going to. I've seen them. You're never going to qualify for nothing. You have to be on the road naked before they even say, okay, you can qualify. You could be working a part-time job below the poverty line. No, you don't qualify. You're not gonna get it. So stop trying to.
They're gonna,
Oh, there's
they're
enough
gonna
for all of us. There is enough
simply,
for all of us. I believe that. I know that to be true. You're not going to qualify. Then they
yeah.
had medications on rations during the pandemic. You couldn't get your
Mhm,
usual like 3 month supply. It was only 30 days supply. And I asked
mhm,
people, if you don't get your medication, what's going to happen to you? Like, what's the worst case? And they said, this it's bad. I said, then get your food in check. Stop eating all this crappy food that's making you rely on the medication in the first place.
right.
Get healthy
Exactly.
because this ain't no joke. And
Mm,
they're like, well, I go, if you're on insulin, how can you reverse your sickness to get healthy?
right.
Because if you're at the mercy of them dispensing it to you,
Hmm.
you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble.
They feed us foods to make us sick. We have to. We know what the problem is, but we're just lazy because we enjoy the satisfaction of eating those types of food. But it's going to get to the point when you look at it now, you can't. If you do DoorDash, if you get something, it is so expensive. You may want to start going back to old school ways, cooking your food, prepping it for the week, and just eat naturally. Get out there and exercise. That's such
Mhm.
another topic, especially for our community, that we need to really, gravitate to. Not saying that we don't, but more of us need to, especially if we have things like high blood pressure. Exercise does so
Cholesterol,
much.
yeah,
You
exercise
know,
is key.
it is
And stress. I think a lot of us are stressed,
to the limit. Yep.
which is why the high blood pressure and all these things
Mhm.
are triggering because we're stressed and we
Yeah.
don't have an outlet. Exercise is releasing that from your body, from your cells. But we
Mm,
don't have time to exercise because we're so busy chasing the it's like we're in this loop. I
yeah.
gotta pay my bills, I gotta pay my bills. How about cutting back?
Cutting back.
Nobody when you ask people who are on the verge of losing their house to like sell it
Mhm.
before it becomes an issue. They don't
Right.
want to sell. They want to borrow from loan sharks to pay,
Mhm.
and loan sharks don't play.
Right.
And I'm looking at them like these
Mm,
people are going to get their money. They're going to end up taking your house.
yeah.
So why don't you cut that whole thing out and just sell your house, get that money, and go to a smaller place and start over? No,
Right. Bigger is not necessarily better if it doesn't fit in your budget. It's okay to
no.
start over again. It'll give you peace of mind. it
They
gives
they
you
don't get it.
right. They
And
just
they
want
lost the house, and then the loan the whatever you call those people, private lenders. They call private lenders, but they're loan sharks.
to.
End up
Mm-hmm.
with your house
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting their money back. They don't do things just to be kind. And
Exactly.
I'm like, sell the house. At
Right.
least you have, at least your credit will still be good. You still have, the bank will give you another mortgage. Like, think of the long game. No. And I know it's hard because even when I got divorced, it's like, I'm not going back to my parents' house so that everyone could see that I had to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. I was like, come hell or high water. But I
Right.
didn't do it to the point where I'm hurting myself. But I'm like,
Mhm.
no, 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 no. Your pride kind of is like, hell no. So that you failed something? No, 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 no.
Right, Gina. People get attached to material things, but
Yeah, and their reputation of, you know, they don't want people to talk about them. They don't want people to talk about them and say, "Oh, you see, she or he, they lost the house. Oh, they
right.
couldn't afford it. Oh, because they broke up now, she can't." Like, they don't want to hear that. Just
Mm-hmm.
turn out. They're gonna talk about you regardless. That's the point. We keep
Pretty
forgetting.
much.
So just do what
Right.
you gotta do to take care of your stuff and then start over.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people start over and now they're better for it. It was hard because they had to swallow their ego
Mm-hmm.
and they had to start over, go back to
Right.
their parents' house, sell, start fresh, and then rebuild and get the house on their own without their husband because of the divorce, and then to start over.
Mm-hmm.
But no
Yeah.
one wants to
Mm-hmm.
be, have that embarrassment.
Yeah. You got to do what's best for you to survive what's going on. Yes. Yeah, Fifi. I did see Louisiana saltwater situation. That is crazy. The
The saltwater
Mississippi is
situation.
so low that the salt water is now filtering into the water supply. So they're out there buying water. Here,
And even that,
yeah,
like,
you're seeing the same
that's a
thing.
plan, right? That's a plan. Like, the
Right,
water company always seems to have customers.
right.
Like, buy a distiller, please, people, distill the water because we can't keep paying them for water.
Yeah, stack your
Downside,
water.
sometimes you have to take a step back and, yeah, regroup and rebuild.
Yep, you sure do.
You got to
Stack
do what you got to do.
for the longest. Stack your water. Stack whatever you can. You may sound like a crazy person at back then, but look at it now. So many people are looking into how to prep, how to do this. How to can their food, grow their food, and it's good to see. I'm happy seeing people trying to get into it and doing it. We're gonna have to move a little bit quicker though, because a lot is going on.
Definitely.
Somebody just mentioned like they control the weather. Yeah, they're doing a lot of things because you're just a pawn on the chessboard, and they're it's like puppets on the string. They're gonna push you to be stressed out, sick. If you want to go into depopulation and all of that, we can. There's so many rabbit holes,
There's so
but
many, yeah, there's so
right,
many rabbit holes.
that. But they're controlling what's going on. So you just
But
got
we're
to be
making it easy. We're certainly
right.
making it easy when it comes to what we're eating, what we're
Mhm.
drinking, and our lack of preparedness. Because it's
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah.
it just takes one little thing for them to just start making everybody crumble, and they sit back and they laugh.
Right. Exactly. And we
Like,
got to learn to
let's.
get along. We got to learn to come together as communities and fight the system. I don't know how else to say that because at the end of
Mhm.
the day, you can do it, I can do it. But if we're only two on the block that's doing it, we got now we
It's not gonna do nothing.
have
It
to
ain't gonna
right.
do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
I That's what I was saying from before when I first came on this platform. It's like, do we know our neighbors? And most
Right.
people said maybe like to say hi and bye, but I don't know their name. If you ask me, do you know so and so and so and so? I'm like, who?
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Right.
good person, right? Don't know their legal name, don't know their last name, don't know their phone number, don't know nothing about people around me. And they see you walking on the sea, but nobody knows each other.
Right.
And until like the power goes out, it's like you don't talk to each other. We got to start with the basics. At least know who's around you.
Right.
There shouldn't be anybody coming into your community that you don't know who they are and what they're about, especially if you got children. You should know who's living in your neighborhood on your street. And
Mhm.
that's I'm working on that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
That's good.
what they're about. I don't know if I could trust them, if I got to watch, I don't know nothing.
It's true. Well, I just moved
And
here. I don't know anybody, but I'm getting to know
you
them.
just moved, yeah. So you just that's different. But I've been here 5 years. I should know. I have one lady's phone number. I know, my tenant, and I know her dad. So if something happens, I can go and deal with that for her. I know
Right.
the one, but this is the point. Like, we don't even have the basics around us to say, if I am in a jam, my family's not going to be the first ones here. My neighbors are right next to me. Do I have a good relationship with them, or am I perceived as a snob, a stuck up? Am I friendly? Am I like, you can't keep talking about everybody else. What are you doing? Are you
Right.
friendly? Do you smile? Do you say good morning? Are you, you know, pleasant? Are you approachable?
Exactly. I think
You
I know more
know,
people here on YouTube than I do. I'm like,
I'm telling you, I know you guys more than like, I don't even know the woman across the street. I don't even know her.
I gotta do better.
Exactly. Am I gonna call Carmen? Help me. She's like, I'm all over here. I can't.
But even this is a great network because everybody's spread out all over the place. Like there should be nobody that you can go. You can't go someplace without knowing somebody in that particular area.
That's true.
Like
That's
someone
true.
goes here. Let me give them a call. All right. So and I get it. It's sometimes people are hard to figure out, or you figure out that they're not that great of a person after the fact.
Hmm.
But, try to network and do your due diligence to find out who you can connect with, and if there is an issue, you like-minded people.
Like-minded people,
Yeah.
and you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's who you least suspect. Cause I'm telling you, I'm hearing chickens on my street, and it's not mine. Somebody else has chickens too, and I
See?
heard a rooster. So I'm trying to figure out who it is because they're doing what I'm doing. Obviously, saying "f the government, f the rules." I'm doing what I gotta do,
Right.
and I need to meet those people because I'm like, all right, we're on the same page, but we don't know each other because we don't talk. So I need to get out there and say, hey, what's your name? How you doing? I've been here for 5 years. I don't know you, but like, let's have a conversation. And that's how you have to be. Because even my dad, he's the neighbor next to him is new. He's the kind of person that will go and say, hey, like introduce himself. He's not waiting for you to do it because you're probably not going to do it. He will introduce himself, get to know you, find some commonality quickly so that he can,
Right.
have that connection. Because if something goes left, that's the first person that's going to see. If he faints in the garden, I'm not going to see it. The neighbor's going to see it. So we have to be, able to have a conversation with people. Hold
Mhm.
on. What's Mrs. Queen saying? I have one neighbor I don't think I will look out for if something was to happen. She is too snotty. Gina's saying, I know your neighbors don't mean you have to trust them. No, you have to
Right.
trust them.
True.
You don't have to break bread with them. Oh no. Who's doing that?
Right.
Some people are not nice, but just be civilized.
Right.
Somebody got wise. Yeah. Somebody got wise. You just have to be civilized. I have a neighbor and had a neighbor, couldn't stand the man. But you know what? He did have some good qualities. And even
Mhm.
though people didn't like him, he never did the wrong thing intentionally. If he saw something was wrong and he needed help, he didn't care if you don't like him or he don't like you. He would do the right thing. If he saw that your
That's
tire was looking low, he would say, your tire's looking a little low. You better go get that checked out because he knows you're a woman and you don't need to be all around the town on a flat tire. Like he would at least do the right thing. He didn't care about you liking him or not. If he saw something that needed to be addressed, he would tell you. And I
mhm.
appreciate that about him. He didn't care about we don't talk. I don't care. Screw. He never did that. Never did that. And he was an asshole. He was an asshole. But he
Ain't no
did.
surprise you.
Let me see you, David.
Mhm. Stop. Stop
Hold
it.
on. It's loading. Hold on. It's loading. Okay, I see you. What happened, David? I can't hear you though. You're on mute. I guess your
He's
mic's off on.
yes.
Did you just say what, David?
Say what?
Did you just say when I popped up? What, David?
No. I said,
Oh,
David, I can't see you.
thank you, baby.
I said,
I
David, I
thought you
can't
was
see you. And then I was waiting for it to load so I could see that it was really you. I didn't say what, David.
okay. I
Uh,
appreciate it. I thought you were hating on something like a player.
No, no,
But
no.
y'all bring you ladies bring up a great point. If you don't get along with your neighbors
mhm.
and something go up, go down, what's gonna happen?
You're screwed.
Yeah. Or if you're prepared, the neighbor's screwed.
Yeah.
That's
People think that oh, I got this. I got this. You ain't
right.
got nothing.
Yeah.
Some of these
Can
old people gonna have to have you going to the store for them to get stuff for them. So they better start being
okay,
nicer, you know.
but can you pick up a bag? Can you, can you walk?
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That
first
too.
step to prepping.
Yeah.
That too.
Get yourself together.
Facts. Absolutely.
You like people don't understand like when the power went out here that I don't know 15 years ago whatever the power went off the whole grid was down because of something in Ohio I think it was or somewhere where the transformer was. Everybody was outside. All your freezers were all melting up. All the food we're out here barbecuing everything because it's all being ruined. People
Yeah.
who don't have you're sharing food because you don't want it to waste. Like old people, do you need anything? Do you need? Are you okay? They
Mm-hmm.
had no lights, no power. Okay, I have some candles. Here you go. Like you have to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got to be nice to people.
Sure enough.
You
Yep.
can't. Some people are rude, but you got to be nice. And oh, I don't like brown people. I don't like black. I don't like. Really? Does that matter when you're hungry? When you're
Right.
thirsty?
Mm-hmm.
Does my
And I,
voting history matter to you? If I'm Democratic or whatever, liberal or conservative, does it matter when you're need some water?
Mm-hmm.
see, that's how you know all that stuff is crazy and it's nonsense and it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but division.
Yep.
How do you need that if something goes down? Don't you need your fellow man?
You
Exactly.
do. You will need them at some point in time. You will need them.
When disaster
But
happens, 9 out of 10 people automatically just work together. Everything else goes out the window because you
mhm.
all.
Yeah.
They really did. I mean, not that we separated ourselves because nobody's standing over us doing nothing to us. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we are doing all this. We
Yep.
own
Yep.
your stuff. Take accountability of what you done. Try to
Mm-hmm.
become a better person. A
Yep.
lot of this nonsense going on, and man, it's so much nonsense going on this computer. They be like, "Dang, where this come from?" But people can't see through this stuff, and I'll just be like, "Oh, yeah, I see why I stand alone. I see why."
Because you're not in for all the nonsense.
Mm-mm. And I can see through what you're doing.
There are people who have the mentality that um you work and help your own people. You work with your own. So I was speaking when I we had a conference at church. So they asked me to speak on prepping on a basic level. So I just talked about some basic stuff and nobody had anything prepared. Not even after we've had ice storms here, we've had power outages. They had nothing prepared.
Wow.
And I'm telling them like you need to have water at the very minimum. I'm telling what I'm learning from you guys online and I'm telling them. So one lady's like she's always miserable. Anyways, she's carrying on and well, what am I supposed to do and I said to her straight up, you're thinking that we're going to help you like because you're part of this community just because you're black basically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't live in my neighborhood. I don't know where you live. I'm not going out of my way to find you when something goes left. Let me just tell you that right now because I've been going through stuff and you haven't come look for me. So
Right.
if that's what your linchpin of, oh, we got to stick together, you're going to be on your own because I'm not finding you. How can you say that? I'm telling you right now before things go left so that you know what to expect. I'm
Right.
not looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be helping the people right here next to me, whether you're black, brown, purple, or blue. So if you're thinking because that ain't gonna help you with nothing. What do you bring to the table? Nothing.
But you got all those back chats.
Are you gonna
Like,
sell pum pum when things get rough? That ain't gonna like that's your only option.
And you ain't gonna be able to use that money if things go that way.
Yeah. So unless you're gonna be
For
selling,
all that
something
because
else,
everybody
slanging,
think they got some money.
and she's looking at me.
Do
Well,
you
what am
have
I?
do you have
That's your
faith?
responsibility. It's not like stop looking like okay, we're all from the same community. Then we're supposed to help you. No, people help those who are asset. You're not
mm-hmm.
adding nothing over here. You're bringing me down, and you
Right.
got two children.
Mm-hmm.
You're a sinking ship, honey.
Yeah.
And
Every-
she was mad, but I'm like, and so like to me,
I,
like
like my
who's sinking
mentality
ship?
came in here was like, oh, we're just gonna make do and help everybody. But as I progressed into it, I'm like, if you're sitting here and you're not paying attention to what people are saying and you're not trying to do something or become a asset versus a liability, we're, I'm not worried about you. I can't be worried about you. I can only be
I'm
worried
not
about
worried about you.
people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing and trying to survive whatever's going on. If you don't want to do your part, then you that's on you. And it's gonna be a hard thing to say to tell people no, but not really. Because at the end of
Not really.
our food supply is not gonna last that long. So we have to still ration even though we're prepping, even though we have a network of people. People get sick, people have more babies, you take on more people, it becomes a problem. So as this whole journey goes along, a lot of my thinking is when shift hits, the nice person is like out the door because at the end of the day we're all trying to survive. And if you're just coming here with a hungry belly, 4 or 5 of them at one time, I don't know what you're going to do. Did you do
It's
anything?
not
Did
gonna
you
work.
buy a pack of seeds? Did you
Take
bring
care, Demon.
solutions or water? Do you have a skill set? Anything? Because the good looks, I really don't care what you look like at that point in time. I just want to know what you could do that's going to benefit the rest of this community that we got going on here.
You have
You're
to hear
right.
how people talk.
Yeah.
And I've been watching her for a few years. She's always taking or complaining. She's never bringing solutions. She's always, and it's like she's a downer. And then she's like, "Well, why do people, treat me a certain way?" I go, "Because you're miserable. You're negative, and you're always just taking, taking, taking. Oh, I'm a single mother. I'm a single mother. Lots of people are single mothers. You're not
Yep.
the only single mother in the universe. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I need this, I need that. She never gives anything. Like I've watched her and I've observed her. I'm like, you've never given even a pack of gum.
Right.
You're always just taking. Nobody wants to be around people like that. They
Hmm.
don't.
It's gonna
So she
get
hasn't been back in several weeks because I guess but they know how I am. I'm not gonna water it down for you.
right.
Who wants to be around a person who's always taking, always begging, like beggy, always? You have leftovers. She's there with her Tupperware taking the leftovers, and
Is
someone's like,
anybody
nobody offered it to you.
is anybody working out? Anybody? I mean, I see people working out. There need to be more
I'm
people working
working.
out. And
Yeah.
I'm working out a little
Mhm.
bit.
Shout out to Gina, Erica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
give it-
injuring my ankle though, but I'm walking and stuff, and I'm trying to get to the gym.
Mhm.
hey,
Um,
try some water. Put your ankle in some water. If you got a swimming pool around, just move your ankle in some water. Your leg in
well,
some
I could
water.
probably go to the gym and do that. They have a thing, yeah, and put it in like some water
Yeah,
because
just wave your leg back and forth in that water and make your leg muscle stronger.
yeah, because something ain't too right. It keep flaring up.
Yeah.
But
Hmm
I'm doing something because I'm at the point now because my friend got off her medication and so it's possible.
Mhm.
Healthy lifestyle, it's definitely possible. But we got to
And,
put in
and
the work and
the
stop relying
inflammation,
on pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
maybe it may be the inflammation in your joints.
Mhm.
Probably because that's definitely it was injured in the past, so it's probably just keeps
Get you
flaring
some
up.
turmeric. Keep doing some turmeric and ginger.
Oh, I've been doing that heavy. I've been doing that heavy. Turmeric and ginger. I've been doing
Yeah. Remember the
black
little
seed
black
oil
pepper. Sprinkle a little black pepper
heavy.
in your turmeric.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I made
good.
my cayenne tincture. I've been doing a lot of that heavily, so it definitely does help. Because my elbow
Do you have
used to always flare up. No problem with my elbow now.
Do you have any Jamaican sorrel?
I have some here. Yeah, I always keep some on hand. I buy some from the Caribbean store, and I make sorrel. Like now, I'm going to be making sorrel because it's fall, and I have it all fall winter. I drink that. Put the clove, put the cinnamon, the ginger in there, all that, and have a whole like I drink that like every day. Put some rum sometimes in there, whatever. Just have a hot toddy. But yeah,
Mhm.
that helped. Sorrow helped me through COVID. Definitely. I had some available, and when I got sick, I just drank a lot of sorrow. Thank God I
Great
had it
stuff.
made
Great
because I
stuff.
certainly didn't have the strength to make it when I was sick. But I drank a lot of sorrow when I was sick.
Mullein is good for clearing your lungs out.
Your lungs, yeah.
Mhm.
And clove tea is
Cold.
good for implement. Yeah, all of that stuff. I have all of that stuff, and we need to just keep
Mhm.
talking about it because when your parents leave, the Caribbean and come overseas, the kids kind of
Mhm.
lose all that knowledge
Yep.
of what herbs good for what and how powerful it is. And we run to the store and buy, cough syrup and stuff. No, you don't need to buy nothing.
Yeah.
Everything's in the cupboard right there. Just make it ahead of time so you have it. I'm
Mhm.
fermenting the garlic and the honey now. I'm doing all that stuff I have my jar, and I'm taking that. Take
Yeah.
elderberry
Mm-hmm.
pretty much every day to
Yeah.
clear out, the mucus. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing. I don't need to be going to the pharmacy. Have
Yeah.
you read the ingredients on some of these cough syrups?
Sugar, sugar,
It's
sugar, sugar,
like
sugar.
narcotics. Some of
Yeah.
like those are heavy
It might as well
narcotics.
be a drug deal.
I'm telling you, cold. If you take too much, you can get addicted. I'm like the cough syrup. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to get mad at me for I was smoking on, puffing on my little Indian twig. You feel me? You feel me?
Yep. I'm telling you. When I'm
Right.
reading the ingredients and the side effects, and then it's not even just that. It's
Mm-hmm.
I can't trust the manufacturers of these things, especially if it's made overseas. They're putting the wrong ingredient. We done had the dog food issue. We done had that issue. They had a cough syrup issue years ago, and they put the wrong ingredient that's similar, and it was taking out people. We already know about Africa and the milk, the formula. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've seen enough things,
Yeah.
so I don't trust manufacturers of nothing.
I agree.
They they put the wrong things on purpose.
Hey,
So
I
Mm-hmm.
was
yeah,
saying to someone the other day, if you really want to stop gun violence, what y'all think about this? Putting serial numbers on bullets.
Hell no. Well, I mean, I went from one perspective, I could see where it's a good thing, but the other thing,
I guess you can get a bunch of innocent people trapped up, huh?
there you go. Because
if they
But
if you steal the numbers, yeah.
it would teach you to protect your bullets.
it would, but um, no, because I could just see a certain sector of people being more so affected,
Abusive.
right, by it. We don't need no help with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep,
I don't think that's a good idea.
I got you.
Just my perspective. Just
No, no, I was just saying it. Can't stop, and I appreciate that. Can't stop. How you doing, young man?
hi.
What's going
Hey,
on, bud? What's going on? I came up because you was talking about neighbors, and one thing that I've always wanted was because this is what I grew up with. With you knew your neighbors, you
Mhm.
knew you hung out, and when I moved into this house when I got married, and one side, and it I gotta say it this way, one side he was Korean, he wouldn't say nothing to me. It's like he hated me, and I tried to, hey neighbor, and the other side they were us on the other side never spoke one time. Never, and nobody took care of their yards or whatever. When I came in, I was gung ho and did all this. I mean, it was so bad. If you got out of the yard in my driveway, the mosquitoes were tearing you up. And I mean, I just came in and started cleaning up stuff. The guy behind me, because I did a video on it, the guy behind me, he didn't look down on me. He spoke to me every time I see him. This old Caucasian dude, but he was so nice. It made when people are nice like that, it makes you want to do stuff for them. And like I said, I've got in my top bunk, I got picket fence stuff
hmm
that I'm gonna repair his fence because, and he didn't ask me to. But I'm doing it because the guy, he didn't look down on me. He talks to me. He's
He's a
polite.
real
And
one.
yeah, and when he's seen I was out there, because I didn't have all this lawnmower stuff when I first started. I had one ghetto behind lawnmower that I would run over everything. I was just cutting everything. And he felt bad, and he started cleaning his yard because he seen me do it. Do you see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And I would always see him and say, "Hey man, whatever you need done, just let me know. I charge a 6 pack of beer and that's it." And then he started laughing because I'm
Jeez.
because what I'm saying is it was like having that second father. The guy's older than me. He's like 80 years old, and but he's so nice that when you ever see those people that's so nice, it makes you want to do something for them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he is, and I'm so excited because he's going to be tickle pink. I got enough fence posts because I got this, and in my pickup truck at the yard, I got enough to do at least almost half of the fence line. He's going to be tickle pink, and And people don't realize, like you said, you were saying about stress and stuff like that. The way I relieve my stress is doing stuff like this, yard work and whatever. I get all my frustrations out because you see, I'm in an 18 wheeler. This is one of the most dangerous jobs out
Hmm.
in the United States. I don't know if I'm going to make it home. All I have to do is one if one four wheeler jumps in front of me and I got to slam on the brakes and I'm fully loaded, which is 45,000 pounds behind me. I can't stop. Do you see what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
could be,
I know.
and I
My
almost.
cousin was a trucker. Yeah,
Do you see what I'm saying?
it was stressful.
I almost died once.
Right.
That's why a lot of times when you see I be yelling and screaming and whatever. I'm hyper and everybody thinks that I'm goofy, but the fact is that I've had a second chance at life. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And when you got a second chance at life, you don't need all that drama.
Right.
You don't need all that drama that everybody, the world wants to put it. I'll be quiet, but I just wanted to say that, you know what I mean. And I'm happy you back. I'm happy you
It's
back.
good. It's
I'm
good to
happy.
take care of your
I'm happy.
neighbors.
Yeah, I'm happy you back, Urban. I've been like weekends, so like, where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where my homegirl at? Where we at?
It's so busy, which
Yeah,
is
I know,
good,
I know.
but you don't when you don't have reliable help. This is the part of my problem. So I'm trying to find reliable help so I can have people in certain areas to rely on instead of driving all over Ontario. But for right now, we have to do it because people think that they can just milk you for money, and
Mhm.
everything
Yeah,
has a cost and expense, and you're not going to overcharge me for cleaning because you think you can. And
exactly.
we're talking about
Does anybody
neighbors.
with
The neighbor's getting a little saucy, and her husband's getting a little saucy. And when we corrected them nicely on text, they skirt the issue and like gaslighting. He
Mhm.
Something was asked of him. He basically said, "Don't effing tell me what to do on my property." Nobody told you what to do. A question was asked because he's smoking. I don't care if you smoke and what you smoke. That's not the conversation. The issue is if you're right next to somebody's window, that's kind of inconsiderate because they don't smoke and they're smelling it. Well, they can close their window. Yeah, but they want fresh air. So why can't you smoke further back? Like it's kind of simple. My
Right.
neighbor was
Yeah,
doing that over here too. And it's like, you can't be smoking right next to
just
the
move
house
away from the
because
window?
you're on your side. The smoke doesn't stay on your side, sir. It
Right.
wafts into my window. When he asked us of something, we didn't say, don't effing ask. So when we said that, you asked me something, we didn't answer you like that. Well, no, 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 no. We didn't address you like that. So you're not going to come over here with that.
Right.
Because again, I'm not the one. I'll
Mhm.
start off
yeah.
nice, and my sister's a nice one, but it doesn't take me much to go right to whatever. So when
That's
you
what
start
I've been
effing
waiting for.
effing at me, I'm gonna start effing at you.
That's
Because
what I'm waiting
these
for.
men don't have no respect. These men don't have no respect. And his wife is keeping quiet because she knows I'm not getting into this one. You're on your
Mhm.
own, sir. You're on
Right.
your own.
But that's why I have respect for you because I remember when I was very hesitant on these YouTube streets, and I remember when I first jumped in one of your things, and you said when you had my little smiley face, you said can't stop walking below. What's your name? I don't need what's your name? And you
Mm,
remembered me, and that's what caught me. I was like, that's when I became dedicated. You remembered me. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Hey Dan, how you doing? Blah blah, and then kept on going about your conversation. You don't find people like that no more. That they don't make the effort to just say, hey, so and so, how you doing? Hey, whatever.
Mhm.
How you been or whatever. Also wanted to mention something. You was talking about learning some of the trade. Go for it. YouTube is something else because I didn't know nothing about nothing until I started checking these YouTube things out. And like you said about mowing, I have enough equipment right now. If something happened with the trucking, my trucking, I could start a lawn care business. And
Yeah.
I have at least, and I'm literally, if you add it up, I have at least $20,000 to $30,000 worth of equipment. I didn't pay $20,000 to $30,000 of it, but I bought
Mhm.
stuff, didn't know what I bought, and tried to fix it, and looked on YouTube about it, and fixed it. And I'm like, you could see some of the stuff. I'm like, oh my god, I got, doing like, Arnold
You
Schwarzenegger
taught
poses.
you
I
taught yourself a
got it.
skill. You
Yeah,
taught yourself a skill.
I'm a man. I'm screaming like, I did. You know what I'm saying? And
You're
that's when I
crazy.
got addicted.
You're crazy.
But you know what I'm saying? That's when I got addicted. And I started buying other stuff. But then reality kicked in and said, okay, fool, slow down. You don't stacked up all these bills, pay for this stuff, and then do it. You know what
Do
I
it
mean?
slower, yeah. But
And
you
and
taught
and
yourself a skill. That's good. Because I need my lawnmower
exactly.
fixed right now. That's the problem. And people don't do these things anymore.
Yeah.
There's a guy
To
who drives around, but he comes around, he sharpens the blades, like these old time things. I don't have to drive my lawnmower to a shop, but if you're driving around your truck and you can sharpen the blade and whatever, that's what people are looking for. And you give
yeah.
them a little 40 or 50, whatever. Can you sharpen all my tools for me? And people will pay for that.
And let me tell you this: you were saying about the diesel mechanic, the young man. Do you know
Yep.
how much they charge per hour to, to fix stuff what
I
I'm
think it's
sitting in
200
right
and
here?
something, he said. I think it's
Yeah,
200 and
hello.
something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
So you open up a big rig shop. Oh man, you gonna make a killing. And again, again not attacking women. Like I hear I'm a diesel mechanic. I'm not gonna get with him. You don't know how much money that fool got. You know how much he making,
His
or
girlfriend's not
the
leaving him. She locked that
or
in.
hello, or a
They're
plumber.
engaged now. She locked that in.
I had a
Locked down.
plumber. I had a leak in my bathroom. It was about that big. Sir, that's gonna cost you $350. Took him
Yep.
less than 10 minutes, and
Yep.
I cut the hole. I cut the hole. It's just right there, $350
Yep.
for that
And they
little
don't patch the
hole.
hole
Yeah,
either. You got to patch the hole yourself.
there
So I
you
paid
go.
$30 to say, hey, badass, and Miss
Yeah.
D, Nikki,
hmm
Yankee sister. I pay $300 for stuff. That's how I know. But the thing about some plumbers, if you know them, they'll take a little less, but it's cash, which is fine. But you can sustain yourself with doing these backdoor deals. Say, okay, I'll charge you $100 to do that because it's 10 minutes. And you give them a whole bunch of other customers, you can work out a relationship. But if you don't have a skill or to swap something with, that's not gonna survive. You're not gonna survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Things
Boy,
are shutting down. Things are getting bad.
Mhm.
Our tax dollars are going to other people. And I don't
Yeah.
mind helping people, but what about me? If I need something or a service, I can't even get it.
I wouldn't complain if it see it goes to other people that are not this color or darker.
I don't even
I
care
hate to
about
say
that.
it.
I care about
Yeah.
people who haven't paid into the system. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to go into what group you're from. If you
Yeah.
haven't paid into the system, I have a problem with how much you're taking out of the system.
Yeah.
Because when I get to a
I'm
certain
not
age
that
and
color.
need to pull out, I can't pull out.
Yeah.
That's a factor, but I don't want to focus on that and then becomes that. I want to focus on you didn't pay into the system. You don't pay taxes. So why am I paying for your $3,000 a week hotel bill?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can barely,
Can't deny you on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people need to have
and I
social
see
Can't
security.
stop.
New
Let me
York,
see that
New York
color
is
again.
flooded
You
with water and people. They're dropping off
Whoa.
busloads of people all over the different Texas, all over the place. Busloads of people. Where are these people going?
What'd you say?
Corey's house? Where are they
They
said,
going?
got
no, you
they,
said they're not this color. I was like, let me see that color again.
yo, bro. Just because I'm a high yellow, I am dark. I
I
am.
just want
Hey,
to see that color again.
yo,
Can't
yo,
stop.
yo,
I ain't trying
yo,
to hate
yo.
on you, big
Hey,
dog.
hey. They do call me a ninja. I've been called a ninja before, so yeah.
Hey, and
There's
it
not
don't
enough
stop
money,
at your
guys. The
time
money's
either.
running out. Let me just tell you, the money is running out. The supply, the services, the old age security that I'm going to get. I ain't getting that. Government pension. Who knows if it's going to even be there when I'm old enough? Private pension is being squandered on foolishness. So all these things that you think I'm good. Yeah,
Social
right.
security.
They keep printing up money. It's no
Or
good.
it's gonna be delayed.
Drug
It's
rebate to get medication for seniors for
hell
free.
yeah.
That's going to be dried
No,
up. Drying up,
I'm
guys.
not. I am not. I'm not. I'm not waiting on the government. I got two stock portfolios. Again, like I said, my backup is my lawn care. If I'm waiting to do that, and I'm looking for
Mhm.
something else. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to have a backup for a backup
Back up
for
to
a
the backup.
backup to the backup. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? See, and a lot of folks they're hoping and dreaming on and nothing against that. Let me say it right now because everybody gonna be mad. Nothing against YouTube. They thinking that YouTube's gonna make them famous. Go for it. I'm all for it. But you got to have a backup for YouTube. You got to have a backup for that one,
Yep.
and then learn how to plant some.
Yep.
Y'all got me. Yeah,
Pause. So I can't get rich on YouTube.
nah, man. You ain't getting rich off this mess.
Come on,
You
can't
want to
stop.
twerk?
Don't
You
bust
want
this
to
bubble
twerk?
like that.
You can get rich off
I
of
woke up
twerking,
this
but I
Saturday,
don't
man. I
know.
made me about 3 or 4 videos. You mean to tell me I ain't gonna get nothing?
Mm,
3 or 4.
You
you
gonna
just
get
need the 30
something.
cents. 30
You
cents.
gonna get something. But for you to get the big bucks, you got to get on here shucking and jiving. Hey, welcome to my channel. Yeah,
So I
welcome.
gotta be. So what you saying? What you saying? Can't stop. I gotta be a car content creator. I got to be lying. I got to be doing all this other stuff.
You
Now
gotta.
we
Bro.
ain't caught on to
There's a
it
girl.
yet.
She gardens while naked. Naked. There's a lady whose gardens naked.
Yeah, they
She's
be,
coming
and
out of
then they
that.
be like, hey, look at me. I'm growing grass
I'm growing
seeds.
melons.
Yeah,
I'm growing
yeah. What
melons.
about these
Growing my
melons?
melons.
I'm like, I ain't learning nothing. I'm too old for that mess. You
So
know
what people
You
are
got
doing,
wait,
they're
wait,
people are
wait,
what I'm saying?
wait,
inventing.
wait. Can't stop. You're not talking about that the naked gardener stuff, are you?
Nah, I ain't saying nothing. If my wife come on here, I'll be in trouble. I ain't
No, I
looking at
seen
none of
something like
that.
that. But I seen something like that, and I thought to myself, now well, people want attention bad, man,
Bad.
bad.
No, no, they know what sells. They know what sells,
Hey,
brother.
Mike.
They
And
yeah.
they're going. It's just funny what people do on social media to get some attention. And I've watched these videos too because I've gotten caught up in the matrix. And I'm like, this one guy I watched, and this is what I noticed this week. Funny, not funny. These people have over 2 million subscribers, and their lives have less than 300 people. I don't know the
Yeah,
math, but that must be less than 1%. I'm
How is
assuming
that?
just by.
yeah,
And another person, same thing. They have, you know, 5,000 subscribers. They had 3 people in their life. So I don't know what they're doing. They're selling products, they're doing other stuff, but the fame that you think you're gonna get may not really be coming the way you
yeah,
think. They're not
yeah.
engaging. Maybe his videos that he pre-records are getting a lot of watch time across the globe, but the live had less than 300 people, and he has over 2 million subscribers. So the commercials may give you some money, which they do, and super chats, super stickers, whatever. But yeah,
I know they run commercials on my thing. I ain't seen no Moolah Baby yet.
did you
I
did
know
you
they
make
run.
did the minimum? Did you get the minimum? I
Ah,
think you gotta make $100 first before they start paying you or something. There's some minimum.
Can't
But
stop. They ain't sent me nothing. Man, what you mean I gotta make 100? Hey, I want my 50. I
yeah, you
want
gotta
my
do.
40. I
There's a
want my
minimum,
30.
David. You gotta
That's
make
the
that
cap.
first. You gotta fill in the
bro,
forms online, put it as a personal business, whatever person, and then they get your tax information, and then they start sending you, cutting you some money. They send you a
look,
code in the mail to verify that it's you, and then you
yeah,
get
yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff.
I just, be honest with you, I'm alone 99.9% of the time. This is something for me to do.
Yeah, I think it's
Something
helped
for
me a
me to
lot. It's good.
And you come to my lives, I'll be yelling and screaming. I'll be having flashbacks of whatever I done been through in the past.
Charles is right. You need to pay us to be your therapist because we're giving you free
Yeah,
therapy.
you guys give me free therapy. I'm gonna have a giveaway, just a giveaway. It ain't even gonna be a contest. I'm just gonna give it away.
I'm just, I'm like,
Can't
okay, let me
stop.
turn on the volume now. He's yelling, so we're like, okay, earplug alert. I'm turning it down. I'm like, look
Hey,
at these
hey,
guys.
that's why I have a warning.
And I
Can't
had to
stop.
warn you. I said, don't talk about your wife because she's getting mad.
I actually
I said, don't
thought
talk.
I
Don't
actually
call
thought the
it.
microphone. I'm sorry,
What's up?
I said, don't talk about your wife because she gets mad. So I don't want you to have marriage
Oh,
problems.
oh,
Don't
oh
talk
boy,
about your wife.
oh boy. Yeah,
Don't
no,
talk about
no,
her at all.
no, no, no. You know what's going on.
Yeah, don't talk about her at all.
at
Don't call her
all.
name. Don't call her name. Don't talk
See,
about what she
see,
took. Don't talk about nothing.
I'm like the parameters, you know.
Yeah, don't talk about nothing. I'm being dead serious. Don't call out her
Hey,
You
name.
know,
what's
Period.
that?
yes,
What's
sir.
that
Yeah,
song?
hey,
The youngsters got a song, rap song. Is it safe? Is it safe? What the hell that song?
no,
Yeah,
hey,
is it safe?
David,
Because
hey, David, it ain't safe. Trust me.
yeah. I was like, and I was telling him like, "Yo, you're gone too far. You're gone," because some women don't like that, and I don't even have to know her. And all of a sudden he's like, "I'm taking a week off." Click. I'm like, "Where's this?"
You know what? Monday's subject, boy. I'm teetering on the borderline, but
Don't
it's
talk
something
about
to
it.
do.
Don't talk about it.
No. You
Yeah,
know, you gonna give fair warning.
yeah. Don't talk. I know she'd be in the bushes listening and
Yes, you
taking notes.
do.
Yeah,
Charles' wife. Hey, you know what? Charles'
and
wife.
then
He caught her. He
yep,
caught her. Charles' wife be in the bushes,
yep,
and we all cruise together. So you know
yep,
she gonna have a talk with her. Oh
yep. She
boy.
gonna bring. So stop telling all your business on your live. Don't call out nobody's name that you actually don't talk about them.
Oh,
Period.
Amen.
if you,
You
you
Amen.
got to
ever,
learn how to play this game.
hey, you
I
ever
actually thought
notice?
he said. I actually thought he said Charleston White. I was to say what?
No. One of
His
my
friend
mods,
Charles.
and
Yeah.
yeah, my cruise buddy. You know, I talk about him all the time. He actually kind of sort of saved my life. You know, um, and set me on the right path because he's been married for freaking over 30 years, and the brother's got some serious knowledge, and he'll get to the point of, yo, shut the f up. Don't do that. Been there, done that. Don't say that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And he has saved me. That's why I'm still married, and I appreciate it.
Yep. Don't.
Hey,
Yeah. I'm trying to. And sometimes you're driving, so you're not seeing the chat. I'm like, don't stop. Like end. And you're not seeing it. I'm like, oh Lord. Because I know she'd be in the bushes. Because sometimes we're in the bushes, and it's like I see four people in the live. Me,
It's
Mike,
a
and
thing
Charles.
in
Who's
life.
the fourth
A thing
person?
in.
exactly.
Oh, you need to know how
It's
to
a
play
thing
this
in
game.
life.
Keep it quiet. Don't talk about.
Uh, I'm learning. I'm learning the YouTube streets. It's been rough.
Yeah.
Better
Don't.
This
learn that
stuff.
life, man. Zip it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the life.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Take care, Carbon.
Enjoy,
All
David.
right. All right.
Everybody in the chat. Have a good weekend.
All right, you
You
too.
too,
Take
Carmen.
care.
See you later.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
All
don't
right.
put your yeah,
Hey,
because
hey, hey! I got a hat like that, David.
be used against you. Yeah, in a court of law. So don't bring up your personal life
Yeah,
on
no
the
problem.
thing. Yeah,
No problem.
Yeah, this my hat for the garden. Can't stop.
your
Let me let
sombrero.
Yeah,
Carmen know.
hey! I'm gonna start wearing that when I cut the lawn.
Yeah, man. You need. You should. You should. You should. You should.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should.
yeah.
And everybody in the chat get one of these too. Just thank David. I didn't make them, but you know what I'm saying.
I might sell that. I might sell that in my store when I get to that point.
You're right. Just put it down.
That's actually a good way because we were talking about you got to have your own products and stuff because this YouTube or social media thing that's theirs. They own that.
Yeah.
And people
You
who are
know what?
smart are
Is
using
that
it to have their own website and direct traffic to their own products.
we
That's
need
what
a
I've
weaver.
noticed.
Anybody
Yeah.
can weave in the chat. We need somebody that can weave. That would be good. In most
Well, well,
maybe.
well. We got crocheters.
We got
No, no, no,
crocheters,
no, 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 no.
knitters.
I'm talking about basket weaving and all that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
hey,
know
this
anyone who
you.
basket weaves on this platform. I know I saw a commercial for they're teaching people to do that in the Caribbean right now. They're teaching
Right.
because they're losing those skills, they're losing those old crafts, and I know Jamaica, St. Lucia, and another place is actually doing training on like the basket weaving again to bring that back because that was part of the culture, but people don't do that no more.
Well, and a lot of what do you call those tourists? They like to buy
They
stuff like
like
that.
those stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they like to buy stuff like that.
So they're bringing that back into, yeah, not hair
It's
weave,
woke.
badass, basket
Cause,
weave.
cause when you go to the like when I do the cruises in the Caribbean islands,
Hmm.
everything I buy it goes made in China, and I'm in the
Exactly,
Caribbean.
exactly.
Why can't it be made from right there? Why can't
Economics,
you? Yeah, it,
economics. These leaders, I'm telling. A lot of the leaders, they have their nuts in a vice. They have the leaders' nuts in a vice,
yeah,
and they can't put the people's needs above anything else. China's in a lot of countries, the red countries in a lot of countries. I pretty much call Jamaica little red country because they are all over in these
They've
streets.
been
They
there.
own the parks. They have their monuments in these parks and their god in these parks and statues and the government has given them leases for like pretty much life. They don't pay any taxes. They open businesses in Jamaica. They don't pay taxes for 5 years. Then every 5 years, they rebrand and rename the business and get a new name. And then they get a new 5 years. So no money
Could
is
that
going
be
back into the country.
yeah,
could that be
yeah.
a form of reparations when they bring people in and they get paid for that?
Reparations or slavery? I don't know. I think it's modern day. And you get a
Well,
new master every five
um,
years. You get a new master.
hmm,
Every five
Yeah.
years they get a new master because they're not hiring locals. Very few locals have jobs, and if they do have a job, they're never handling the money. You go and you watch how these stores operate. When it's time to pay, you go to Mass Chin for go pay, and they handle the money. The
uh,
locals never get to go near the cash register.
well, the reason why I brought up reparations because reparations is for farmers.
It's
Okay.
supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
So it's gonna be a
But
lot of upset people when they think they gonna get some money. You think you
but
was a slave? Okay.
yeah, they're not gonna get. They're not gonna get. That's a whole, people have a whole argument about that. And then the new argument was, well, let Africa pay. How much money did you make off of the bags? Like, let's calculate a number. Because I know the banks have all those records. So why are you adding Africa to pay? Because they were part of it. Like,
Mm.
worry about your part in it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nobody
The
wants to
books,
pay.
the schools and the books won't let them look past that. Going to learn from your great grandparents, the one or your aunts, the oldest people in your family. Some of these people could tell you stuff, but we don't like talking to them. Some people died longer.
Yeah.
There's a lady. I think you guys saw the lady. She's a senior citizen, and they're trying to take her land. The developer's trying to take her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
She's like
this is
93
not
years
the
old. Yeah.
first. This is not the first time we've heard or seen this. There's
Man,
another guy that has got
there's
caught.
another guy going through that.
Yeah, another guy and another lady who was mentally ill, and then he snuck in and took the house, made a whole new brownstone, and making like this is happening so often. And even that, like, are you protecting the original owners? You're even over here, people lost their land, and they don't do anything about it. 2 and 3 generations later, they're still fighting for the land. They don't help. They make it difficult for you to have any wealth here. Very difficult.
You know what I see when I see things like that going on? I see that is first will be last, and that is last will be
Be
first.
first.
And I say to myself, was this a plan on script the whole time?
Yeah. Yeah.
It had to have been because when you start looking at some of the regulations and the laws and how they always seem to change to benefit particular individuals and screw over others, it's it's not accidental. Like it's not. It's orchestrated. I started looking at heirs laws and seeing all the foolishness with that. Then you start digging deeper in the rabbit hole, and every time there's a chance to pass on the generational wealth, it gets cut off. You can never get past 2 generations. If you start taking a look, maybe two, when you get to the third, something happens and it starts from scratch again. You know how much work it takes to reset every third generation to start from scratch over and over again? And it's not just in America. There's a lot of things happening that in England, same like, similar. You can't the wealth cannot be passed on. There's always something that's taking it away legally in the books and the law and regulations and zoning and there's always something, and people want to act like it doesn't exist.
Hey,
Hey,
Miss Irvin, I'm gonna step down for a minute because I got to go do
Mhm.
my little artwork. Can't stop.
yeah,
Keep it
but
up, baby.
I gotta wind
Keep
down in
doing what
50
you're
minutes. Yeah.
no
doing.
problem.
Keep
Yeah,
keep
I'm
doing what
gonna
you're
step.
doing.
I'm gonna step down too.
All
Hey,
right,
if I
brother.
didn't say it, I
Pre-
love y'all for real, for real.
pre-
I never will stop.
appreciate it. Love the conversation.
Thank you. I'll see you guys. But yeah, like this is a problem, and I'm seeing a lot of information, especially on the gram. People who are putting out good information. I'm sharing it. I'm remixing it. I'm putting it on my stories so that you guys can be exposed. There's a lot of even the contributions of African Americans, however you want to label yourselves. I know that's a whole argument, and it's not documented. Patents that were stolen, or they couldn't get the patent because they were a slave. All of these things, and they want to act like there was no contributions made. That's not true. But I'm looking at the legal system, and this it's very tricky. And then lately I'm watching, I don't know if you guys are watching, but they made a whole law about the Crown Act. But then yet there's a young man who's being suspended from school twice for his hair. And the school rules talk about the length of hair and all these different things. And his hair is not long. It's, tied up neatly and nicely. He has the edges lined up. He's not breaking any school rules, but yet he's being suspended from school because of his hair. And then people want to say, well, just cut your hair so we don't have to deal with that stuff. The Crown Act was written to protect against discrimination against hair. So why are we allowing him to be discriminated against because of his hair? What's how is that fair? That's why a lot of people are taking their kids out of the school system, because this bull crap is just bull crap. So there's some people who are fighting on his behalf. That's great. Um, and he should not have to cut his hair because of the school rules, and the school rules are not in line with his rights. Suspended him from same week exactly, and the school was sued before for the same. Like, there's a lot of problems going on, and we need to deal with it, because we can't keep allowing people, the system, to make our children feel that something's wrong with the way that they look or the way that they express themselves. And it's got to stop. It's going to stop. And a lot of people are removing their children from the system, and the kids are doing better with the homeschooling or private schooling or other programs that are being offered. Even over here, a lot of people are sacrificing and putting their children into other programming. It's not it's not for your children. There's a lot of people, even in Jamaica, there was a problem with having dreadlocks, Rasta. We need to make allowances for the different expressions of the culture, and braids, dreadlocks are not even should be not even on the table to be discriminated against. That's your natural hair texture. That's how it grows out your head. And if you choose not to keep it low, like the westernized style wants you to do, that shouldn't be infringing on your rights to get an education. If schooling is so important to them, then let them get their education and mind your business about other things. Why are you up in their hair? But if you had a relaxer, they wouldn't care about that. Or have your hair press and curl, that wouldn't bother anybody. But once it becomes like a natural style, it's a problem. Dreadlocks, twists, or anything like that, it becomes a problem. So you have a Crown Act, but then you're still being like, so I'm trying to tell you, make it make sense. Make it make sense. The laws that are written to protect are not protecting because people can pick and choose when they want to enforce them. People who are getting pulled over, I'm seeing a lot of clips on my feed about people getting pulled over in either in front of their home or in their yard and being asked to show ID. And they're like, this is not an ID state where you have to show your ID. And then they want to act like, well, if you weren't so difficult, we wouldn't have had to put handcuffs on you. My attitude difficulty is irrelevant. If it's not a ID state, you shouldn't be asking me for something that you're not allowed to ask me. I don't have to comply to your directive. But they pick and choose when they want to enforce certain rules and then make it about your attitude and behavior. If you were just more compliant, then we could have just end this thing quickly. No, that's the point. People are sick and tired of complying when they shouldn't have to comply. You're not allowed to ask me. I'm on my property. There's no cause. You don't have a just cause, and I don't have to identify myself besides my first name. I don't have to show you my ID. I don't have to prove who I am. I was here minding my own business, and oh, we got a call. We got a call. So I'm watching a lot of these cases and a lot of these things, and the family. I know one family filed a complaint against the cops. The cops arrested the wife to try to get the husband to turn himself in. He wasn't home, but they know their rights. And the lawyers are going through each of the clips and going through where their clients' rights were infringed upon. One guy, as you guys saw, was watering his neighbor's lawn, and the other neighbors said, "Oh, there's somebody there. Called the police." And then when they called, they exaggerated what they saw, as per usual, and the police arrested him for not identifying himself, for watering his neighbor's garden while they were gone on vacation because the neighbors asked them to keep their flowers watered. So there's a lot of lawsuits going to that as well. Taxpayers' money going to these lawsuits because the enforcement officers are not honoring people's legal rights and are overstepping boundaries. This is what's happening to, the budget. So a lot of people get upset when people say defund the popo and not understanding that they're not saying remove popo completely, but the funding that's going to them. You need to look at the numbers, look at the math, look at the amount of lawsuits, look at the manner in which they're treating the public, and the amount of complaints and internal investigations that are happening. Before you just listen to a sentence and say defund, oh, how dare they? They're looking for their money to be spent in different ways to help the community, to build more trust in the communities and protect the communities, not just having people driving around with weapons and a baton and harassing and um, overstepping their legal rights and their power. That's that's what's happening. And because it may not be affecting you, you think that um, it's out of pocket to say defund the popo. But something's not working right. And there's an over use of force in certain communities and over policing in certain neighborhoods versus others. And that needs to be discussed and that needs to be talked about. And this club of blue is highly corrupt in and of itself. You could be in there trying to do the right thing, but you're working with people that you got to get along with because if you need backup, they got to back you up. So you got to keep your mouth shut as well because your colleagues will screw you over. So it's not easy as well for officers who are working in a group where they other people can screw you over. One officer filed a complaint against another officer for excessive force, and there's some private text messages being passed around and plotting against the other officer that to take him off the road and put him on desk duty because his other officers are going to set him up. This is what's happening. So if they're being set up, a fellow officer, what do you think is going to happen to the rest of us out in these regular streets, regular schmegular people? So exactly, you got it right, TLC. So they can pay their own lawsuits. So there's a problem over here on Father's Day a couple of years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but definitely within the last, before the pandemic. So over 3 years ago, but not over 10. They did a wellness check on Father's Day. And during the wellness check, they thought it was a good idea to start firing several rounds into the individual. How is that a wellness check? Clear my throat. How is that a wellness check? Where in a wellness check is it appropriate for you to fire rounds into a person? Like, make it make sense. If the person was going to hurt themselves, let's say, how is firing rounds gonna stop that? Like, something doesn't make sense. Like the mental, um, their thought process doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of things that are going on that need to be rethought, revamped. Um, needs to be more accountability, more transparency. If someone needs a wellness check, then maybe they need somebody in a medical field that can help them medically versus going in there and just, you know. And so there were some protests over here, and they're blocking up the street, and they were mad as hell from that community. How do you go from a wellness check to losing your father on Father's Day, and you think nothing's wrong with it? And then they show the video, the officers just firing, firing, firing. How many times do you have to fire? And you're firing into somebody's home. They're in their home, minding their own business. This is not the first time this has happened. So there's a lot of, and I can only imagine what's going to happen when, like, the funding is getting less and less. Like, taxpayers' money is being used all over the place. There's not enough money for services. Things are getting worse. Over here, they're talking about gun violence. And when you take a stock, most of the violence is coming from illegal gun owners. It's not legal gun owners, it's criminals. And they changed the bail system. And I think even in the States, same thing's happening. They're being arrested and they're out on bail within like 24 hours. They're not holding them and going through the process, especially if they're repeat offenders or they've done something while they're on probation. They don't look at the person and judge them accordingly to their history, their risk for the community. They just have a system of fast tracking and then they get out in 24 hours. And those are the individuals that they're finding that are repeating crimes. Even like right after they get out, they're doing another crime, attempted murder. One guy, they did a study on him and said that he went to the zoo and went to somewhere else in between his violent sprees, and then had a mini vacation, then drove back to finish off some other people. They looking at banning certain firearms here and a buyback program, and they've been talking about that for over a year. And these are not the firearms or the individuals that are doing these crime. The crime are the same people, repeated offenders or criminals. Legal firearm owners are not the ones doing this stuff. So it really doesn't make any sense. Hey, GT, Charles, and I think Bud Files. It doesn't make any sense. We're not allowed to have handguns, but every criminal has a handgun. Then they want to ban certain rifles and shotguns because they're assault. It's not the tool, it's the individuals that you're allowing to go back on the street repeatedly, and fast tracking the bail system for people like that who shouldn't be allowed to be out on bail. this is really the problem. I'm not an expert, but there's a lot of people who are going through the data and showing the data, and crime has taken an uptake, and it's not legal owners and it's not particular types of tools more than the other. It's the system. It's oversaturated. People are don't want to wait, and cases are taking a long time to be heard because it's oversaturated. And the real people who need to be arrested or in jail are not. And the legal owners are the ones being bombarded with rules, regulations, banning of certain, you know, you can't even defend yourself in your own home. One person got off on self defense recently, thank God. But in general, that's not the case in this country. So I guess you're supposed to call the popo and hope they get here in time to help you in your time of need, when the criminals don't have to worry about any of that. Make it make sense. Criminals don't have to worry about any but following any laws, any rules, nothing. But you got to follow all these rules, and when you defend yourself, you're now charged with manslaughter or whatever they charge you with, and you have to go through the criminal system, hire lawyers, spend money to try to prove that you had a right to defend yourself. This is what's happening. The system is stretched. Every system is stretched. The social system, the criminal system, everything over here is stretched. And people are fed up. They're very fed up. And living in the city is becoming more and more dangerous. It's highly densely populated. Then you have other people trying to move in because they want a better life for themselves. It's densely populated and it's becoming increasingly dangerous. And people are coming here, not all people, but some people, and their children who are in the school system may be getting involved with friends and potentially gangs and being involved in some criminal activity. I know somebody right now who they're, well, I know the family. So I know the father, his child, I know the grandparents, I know the aunts, the uncles. One of their child got murdered. He had twins. He and I went to school together and he had twins. His There's a good twin and a bad twin. Not my words, the public's words. The bad twin, the crew or the gang wanted to get the bad twin, could not find the bad twin. They knew where the good twin was at university, way over yonder, 4 hours away. The child went to school hours away to be away from this. And they drove the 4 hours. Yeah, about 4 hours to go over there to find the good one to plan because they couldn't find the one that they really wanted. So he died because of the behavior of his twin. I didn't know till recently that they did find the perpetrators and the trial is going on right now. They can't talk about it because it's in trial right now. So I was told that the trial is going on right now. So thank God they got closure, because we've been praying for that, because you want justice for your loved ones. And from what I was told, the person is being treated very badly in the jail system. But I don't feel bad for them. You took somebody's life in cold blood. And the child was saying, I'm not so and so, I'm so and so. I'm not so and so. Like, you got the wrong twin. And the person said, I know which one you are. Cold blooded plan. That's what they did to this young man. Even though he went to school hours and hours away to get away. But right now there's a trial going on. So there's some justice that's happening, but it's so few and far between. It's not even it's so few and far between. There's not enough staff to investigate. There's not enough. If people don't talk and tell what they saw, which nobody told anything, it's hard for them to build a case. So I don't know how they found out now who it was, but they found it. Thank God. But it doesn't bring back your family member. It doesn't bring them back. But one of the twins got caught up in a lifestyle. I don't even know how they got caught up in it because I watched these kids grow up. I don't even know where you get all these powdery substances. And then these people are like laughing at me, like, it's not hard to get this stuff. You can go down and get stuff. I'm like, but how do you know who to go? They go, there's a whole network of people. And the child after the funeral, the other twin, that the quote unquote bad twin, a week after the funeral, he got arrested for possession and some other things, even though he said he's going to turn his life around. And his mother swore up and down, right back into the same thing. This is what's happening in this, with your kids. And even though some of them try to get away from it, sometimes the association, it's very dangerous. That was a rough year going through that. That's old school. If I can't get you, I'll get. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I didn't think they drove 4 hours. It wasn't like it was down the street. And during that 4 hours, I guess they thought that this plan was still a good plan. And he was out having fun with his friends on the campus, not aware that there's some people heading over to hunt you down. Um, and that's what happened. To find who it is, they leave it. Yeah, they leave to the streets to figure it out. Yep. Ask me how I. Oh, yep. There's one guy I know. I don't think they ever found his killer. He, yeah. There's quite a few people that I know that we've lost since I was coming up, and people just don't say nothing. They don't talk. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to get up and involve in people's in business in the case. And a lot of times the same popo are involved with people. It's so corrupt, it's not even funny. And you can't even get upset when people don't want to talk because they know how this thing works, how it's going to play out. And their family becomes a target. They become a target. But thank God there's some justice coming. But it doesn't take away the pain, doesn't take away what happened and all that they went through. Um, and it's not a good thing when you have to bury your child. Never mind, watching a friend of yours have to bury their child. He has other children too, but this child had so much promise, so much. He was doing a lot of good, and just because they couldn't find the brother, they went after him. But let's not dwell on that. Let's just keep our eyes on civil. Keep your eyes prepared, as we talked about this morning. Don't send your kids to the washroom by themselves. Know where your kids are. If you're a grown adult, people should know where you are as well. These streets ain't no joke. There's a lot of people, when Carbon mentioned about the mental, there's a lot of people walking around the streets who are falling through the cracks of the system, and they're on the streets. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was happening in the States and in Toronto. There was an unstable person throwing feces on people and urine on people at like university, like at the library, like at regular places. That stuff is dangerous. In your face, going into your eyes and stuff, that could make you sick. Like, there's a lot of unstable people on the subway, on the bus system. Like, there's a lot of stuff. You're going to the store and there's people outside hanging out. I can't go to any store and not be bombarded with people begging for something. And it's like they're just there waiting. Even like people who are with certain charities just bombarding you, and the homeless people bombarding you. And if you don't talk to them nice, sometimes they might lash out and get aggressive with you. Like, you can't go anywhere. Just be very careful what's happening when you're out in these streets. Be careful where you park. Be careful, just be careful. So with that, I'll call an end to this live this morning. It's 12 o'clock, and I'm going to be leaving in an hour to go do some stuff. So thank you for rocking with me, joining in on the conversation. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed and you're in the bushes, make sure you subscribe, because this number needs to start going up. We need to start getting back to building the channel. The number's been frozen for, I don't know, I guess it happens sometimes. It just doesn't budge. You see 1 and then you lose 5 and you see whatever. So make sure you're subscribed, like the videos. Thanks for all you who are sharing stuff out. was supposed to edit some videos this week. I was just too tired. And I'm going to try on Monday to edit some videos. Yeah, I'll see you Monday morning, bright and early. And be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And just keep your head on swivel, okay, guys? Peace out. And I'll see you next week, God willing, hopefully at my usual time in the morning. If everything is, smooth this week. I got to hand in one more rental increase today, so we'll see. Sometimes these people don't like rental increases. All right, take care, guys. Peace out.